there, everybody. Welcome to another Age of Grogu, and I have with me Elijah and Jason. Hey, guys, how's it going?
Right.
What
Hey,
what y'all like think about that song that starts at the beginning? Do you guys ever have that
the
stuck in your head for like the
yeah,
whole
yeah,
stream
I
because it's
kind
like
I
the
kind of do.
last song you hear?
I
Yeah.
mean, I will now that you did it just before we started.
Uh-huh.
Now I noticed it a little bit more.
No, that's and we don't need that song in our head anymore, Jason. Anyway, hey guys, hey there out there, chat. How's it going? We will have Max coming in soon. Max is landing at his hometown. He's gone home for the week to celebrate some stuff back home. So he'll be joining us live pretty soon. But guys, what a crazy weekend we've had with
Yeah, it's pretty slow, huh? Slow
pretty
week.
slow, huh? Yeah, slow
Slow week,
week,
no
slow
news,
weekend.
nothing going
Yeah,
on,
nothing big, nothing big.
nothing big happening around.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I guess it all started when Elijah and I decided to take a quick trip down to San Diego on Wednesday. We went for the
Would
three
you go to the
hour
Bumblebee Tuna Factory?
the Bumblebee. What?
Just kidding.
There's a
That's a
Bumblebee
thing that's
too.
there.
What?
Yeah, there is.
Never heard of it.
It's
Really?
at Petco Park.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. We ended up by going down. We checked out the San Diego Comic Con. We kind of
Oh,
split
yeah, that
Elijah's
was this
pass.
weekend.
That was this weekend. Yeah,
Oh, that's right.
yeah. So Elijah, what did you get to see when we went in there?
Oh, we went in pretty quick. I went looking for a movie poster, but the guy that I wanted to be there, I didn't see him, so and
Okay.
spent forever looking for him.
Right.
Walked around, checked the floor out super quick.
Yep.
Obviously, checked out the sideshow booth.
Mm-hmm.
I spent most of my time kind of like looking through that.
Yeah. Same. Yeah.
Um,
You pick something up.
yeah, I did. I wasn't expecting to buy anything.
Yep.
I went to Z Comics. Z Comics has put out a bunch of art books and comic art
Hey, Uncle.
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they do some specialty like vinyl art.
Okay.
Anyways, they had a new Gorillas, the band, the Gorillas.
Nice.
There was a new book that was coming out. I didn't put in pre-order for this one just because I haven't had the money recently, and
Alien,
I just
hey,
never put in the pre-order. But they had it there, and there was only two of them. There's two of them, and they're both sealed. And it's like the only thing you see online is the front cover. You don't get to see what's inside of it. You know?
Oh, you didn't open this. Okay, you haven't opened it yet.
No, I did. I'm just
Oh, you
telling.
did?
I'm verbally telling everyone the
Oh.
story so they can
Okay.
understand.
Okay.
Because I said I got a Gorillas book, and Brent's
Okay.
like, "Oh, what? I thought you meant Gorillas in the Mist book." I'm like, "No, the band." Because he
Do you
didn't know
have-
any
do you-
bands.
Do you have it
Gorillas in the Mist? Is that your go-to gorilla reference?
Yeah,
That's-
yeah.
I don't
The
know. It was
word
the first thing that
gorilla
came to
is
my
gorillas
mind.
in the
So,
mist.
anyways, long story short is I saw this book. It's been
Yeah, that's cool.
available online for a while for pre-order. They had two of them. They were both sealed. I'm like, "Hey, can you open one so I can check it out?" And he's like, "Yeah,
Uh-huh.
let me check. Let me open it up." He's like, "Oh, take a look." And I'm like, "Oh, this is dope. I'll probably get one. Is there only two?" And he's like, "Oh, let me check."
Right.
Blah blah blah. Oh yeah, there are only two. And I'm like, "Oh man, maybe I'll come back and get it." He told me it was $50.
Nice.
Right.
He's like, "Oh, it's $50." I'm like, "Okay, you know
Not
what?
bad. That's
I
a good
think I'll
deal
have to
for
do that. I
something
think
like
I'll have to do that. And just let me go up here. I'm only going to be here. I'll be right back. I'll be right back." He's like, "Okay." So I walked away. And I'm like, "You know what? I'll go get it." Because there's only two of them, and, I'm not going to buy it online. I walked back over there. He was pulling both of them, putting him down under the table as I walked up there. And I'm like, "Oh, did somebody buy him?" He's like, "Oh, no." It's like, "We're going to keep one for display, and we're going to sell the other one." "Do you want the other one?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, "Oh, good." Because I told you it was $50. It's really $100, but we're still going to sell it to you for $50. And I'm like,
Shit.
"Oh my God. Yes."
You got a deal.
So half the book is really nice illustrations from Jimmy Hewitt, and the other half is other artists doing interpretations of Gorilla's characters.
Okay.
So there's a whole other group of artists
That's
that submitted stuff
Right.
that are
It's
doing
like
their
fan
own.
art.
Well, I mean, other artists, other like actual other named artists are doing their
yeah.
own versions
Right.
Oh, that's
of
cool.
Gorilla stuff, and it's varied. It's like from that to like let me show you another like really like very different example.
You know what I learned recently is that there's
Liam
a
has
character.
Oh, sorry. Liam has a
What?
question for you, Elijah. Gorillas
Oh, yeah.
is Damon Albarn's best work, better than Blur. Back me up. Okay.
Better
That's a
than Blur?
question?
What?
Yeah.
I wasn't. I didn't have the
Oh,
comments out.
gotcha. Okay. Gorillas is
Gorillaz is Damon Albarn's best work, better than Blur. Back me up, Elijah. Yes,
okay.
for sure. I mean, he has way more control over this, and he writes a lot of the songs. And
Right.
you
That's
know,
cool.
Blur is a band, and it's a different time, and this is
Okay.
way
That's
later.
Cool. So
Oh, can I say the thing
Yeah.
I was gonna say?
yeah, go for
Yeah,
it.
Brent wants to
Yeah.
move on already. He's like, oh, I don't want to talk about.
Oh, we've got a lot to
bands.
talk about today, but yeah.
You know what I learned recently is a character from the Powerpuff Girls started hanging out with the Gorillas.
Yeah, that was
With
part
the
of it.
Gangrene Gang,
Yeah.
like the leader of the Gangrene Gang.
Yes, I do, Jake. That's cool. Awesome. Anyway, so yeah, so you
Wait a minute. There's more,
Yeah,
Brent.
okay, that's
There's
right.
more.
Okay, I'm sure there is.
No, I'm
But
just
but
joking.
that's not what the
So,
That's the
what
one I was
what
waiting
era? What era of the Gorillas is that? Like a recent book?
Yeah, this just came out.
That's cool.
So I don't even know if it was, it was on for pre-order, and they had two of them, like I said. So like I was able to. They still sold the other one, and they kept the other one for
Cool.
display. But it's brand new.
God,
I had the other
Jamie Hewlett is one
the
of
other
my
like yearbook
hugest-
one they did like
Cool.
2 years ago. But they
Not a
keep
bad-
putting out super nice
Right.
stuff like this. So
not a bad dog.
Jamie Hewlett is one of my biggest inspirations, dude.
oh,
Right.
for
Ever
sure.
since, like, Tank
His
Girl.
illustrations, like, it's so great.
Yeah, his
So
style.
yeah. Apart from that, much else to see. I mean, it was really pretty busy in that space, wasn't it?
It was very busy,
yeah.
like
Even for the opening night.
Yeah, I told Brent, like, if we're gonna go down, we should go down just Wednesday and just go in for the first couple hours because it's gonna be the least amount of people. I mean,
It's full.
when I walked in, it was good for like maybe 30 minutes, and then it was getting really, really full.
Yeah.
And people, I mean, anyone that's been to a convention or any con,
Yeah.
Depending on what's going on, people kind of like move around like
Yeah.
ant clusters. So sometimes it's really busy over here, but there's a pocket where it's super clear over there. So to kind of navigate the floor that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a quick in and out for me. And I know you probably spent most of your time at the.
I did. So yeah, I spent most of my time at Sideshow Collectibles. I dropped a small. Did I drop a small video? Yeah, I dropped a small video on that, which was kind of cool. Just some of the stuff. There was. I tried to get into the Lucasfilm line, and that line was so long it was impossible to.
And because we went preview night, there was some stuff that wasn't released. Watching stuff on YouTube, Hasbro released things, and there's that animatronic Grogu that one of the places had that wasn't displayed until the following day.
Amazing, yeah. But
they do that, sometimes they release things on that. They wait days.
You got to stick around. You get rewarded for
that's
sticking around and toughing it out.
But they did have the nearly 6 foot long N1 Naboo fighter on display there for the 12-inch scale, which was my main thing. I wanted to photograph the heck out of this ship because I kind of still want to go back and 3D print that at some point.
You just want to make a real one that you get in. Everybody was wearing masks. We had to go in and do the COVID check before we went in it, and then you had to wear a mask.
Yeah,
to
you
be
had
in
to.
there.
It was mandatory to wear a mask in there, which is fair enough. I mean, there's so many people.
Did you mean costume mask or like?
Yeah.
The old-fashioned, one. But some of the other stuff. This is stuff I did pull from the internet. They had some stuff for anyone out there with Star Wars interest, and/or related stuff. And they also showed off one of the new characters of the Acolyte, which is Amandalia. I think it's Amandalia Steenberg, which she is being cast as one of the lead characters, or if not the lead, in the Acolyte, which is extremely exciting. Which is I'm hyped for this show. It's all about the dark side. It's going to be taking place about 100 years before the Phantom Menace.
Oh man,
Which is
100 years before
that's
Phantom Menace.
crazy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so we're going quite a bit back, which is very fun.
That's gonna be the farthest back ever story.
Yeah, what do
Yeah,
you think they're
it
gonna
is.
make
At
that look
least
Because
in
like
Phantom
life.
time
Menace
wise?
is
In
because
life.
If they
currently it's
stick,
Phantom
if
Menace,
they
right?
if
Yes.
they're
Is the
sticking to the
furthest
like
back.
timeline of like design and you know you were kind of explaining that to me the 60s and the 80s and the
Yeah.
20s or whatever you're talking about. If
Uh,
they're doing going back that far, like I wonder if they would make it like it's like the 1800s, like take
Yeah.
it's hard to
take
tell. I mean,
inspiration from the
Pioneer
1800s.
days,
yeah,
colonial times.
Yeah,
clone times, probably industrial times within the galactic
So it gives you
center.
Darth Plagueis,
Yeah, they
the
also had a few
wise.
costumes on display there.
Right? Do you think Darth Plagueis will be in it, Brent?
I have no idea. I don't even know what time period Plagueis specifically is because I don't read the books. But they had apparently all these other costumes. This is one of the droids from Andor, which is kind of an interesting new droid. So
That's
Jason got
cool.
a new droid.
that's cool.
I like it. I like it. I like this design. I want to see
That's
how this thing
awesome.
functions. It looks like it
Looks
functions.
like it's like a blue collar droid, you know? It's probably
Yeah.
like in the
It's a
mine
work.
or something.
It's a yeah. It's
A
work
runner,
droid.
yeah, it looks like it's just push things, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a work droid. But yeah,
Like
they had some.
Ned
That little
R.I.P.
delivery droid that just delivers messages or something.
Yeah.
We have those now. We have those
Oh
today.
yeah.
Yeah.
You ever see those? You ever see a
No.
Not-
droid?
No.
Not in my. I know they're around, but I haven't seen one yet.
Just like on the street delivering something? It's crazy.
But that was more downtown. You saw that more downtown, right?
Yeah,
What's that?
downtown and then like
Okay.
some like parts of the west side.
Okay.
But the only droids, only robots I ever saw was like when I would go to my mom's office, like when I was a
Right.
kid,
Right.
and there's like a mail robot,
Okay.
just like going around collecting mail and dropping it off. It's just a thing that on wheels. It looks kind of like a, the
Huh.
shampooer robot in like Home Depot or something, or in
Yeah,
Costco.
yeah.
Will we see a young Qui-Gon? I don't think we'll see it in the Acolyte because I think he's too before his time. We're going to see the animated stuff with the young Qui-Gon coming up for sure.
So is Phantom
Test
Menace
the
the
Jedi.
farthest back timeline as far as like anything released, right?
Film-wise, yes, film on production.
What, and show wise? What,
Show-wise, yeah, and show-wise as well, yeah.
just
And book-wise,
overall?
they've
Like that's
gone
what I'm
like-
asking.
Oh no, in books they've gone 500 years. The High Republic is 500 years earlier.
Yeah.
And in fact, they actually ended up by having a lot of the novelists there. They did a book release of all the new. These are like all the new
Whoa.
books that are coming out just in the Star Wars universe over the next year.
All
Jeez.
canon too,
A lot
huh?
of books, man.
Yeah, all canon. Yeah.
Oh, there's a Visions
For the book people.
book.
Yeah, one of the books that are in there, which I'm really.
What are you
wanting to get, is
excited?
Star Wars. The book I'm looking forward to is Star Wars Timelines as part of that set. It's going to go through the timelines of everything set.
cool.
I don't know if it's going to be Legend. I think it's just going to be of the new canon, but it's going to have everything over the past several thousand years to well into the future to whatever they've touched base on within the books, the movies, the TV, the animation, everything.
Like a
So,
recap story, like encompassing everything, or just a catalog of everything.
A catalog,
Timeline.
I think, just a timeline
That's
of
cool.
where everything exists and what is going on at that exact time. I think I don't know too much about it, but one of the novelists, she actually is also in charge. She does the main. I forgot her name. She's actually in charge of the StarWars.com website, and she does the weekly updates of stuff from Star Wars, and she's actually part of the writers of that book.
That's
so
cool.
It's going to be kind of fun to see.
Up until now, we've always only depended on like certain YouTube channels who would do like the whole
Yeah.
timeline. You ever watch those? Where it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
2
yeah,
hours
yeah,
long.
yeah.
Well, it
Just do,
keeps
like, the whole
changing
timeline.
because they break
Every
into
time
those
something comes out, they have to
legends.
update.
Yeah.
You know,
Part
it's
one,
like
part
the
two, and they
Oh,
update
yeah.
it. Yeah.
it's like the Pixar universe updates. Every time there's a Pixar movie that comes out, they have to
Yeah.
apply it to the existing
Right.
universe and connect it.
Oh, totally, yeah. No, for sure. But there wasn't a huge amount of Star Wars news that came out of Comic Con because most of it was dropped a few weeks ago at Celebration, or a month and a half ago at Celebration. The only other big thing that happened this week on Star Wars news was that they reportedly have a budget for Skeleton Crew, which is $136 million. And that they've, I think we said before, they just started shooting it a week or two back. And it's the highest budget for any of the Star Wars TV show based productions.
Whoa.
That's crazy.
I think
Is that because Jude Law costs a lot, or?
well,
Yeah,
I don't know
it's
about
like-
that. See,
Just kidding.
Kenobi was
Pay me more.
Kenobi was $90 million for the 6 episodes.
And that's like Ewan McGregor.
Oh, McGregor, yeah.
Would you
Ewan
rank
is-
higher?
I prefer Ewan McGregor over Jude Law. I've said it before. I'm just not a huge fan of Jude Law. It just doesn't do much for me on screen as a character.
He's good in the right parts.
Yeah, that's probably
He's
it.
like
Yeah, that's
sometimes
right.
he's just a nail. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes it's a stretch. Other times he's like perfect. He's like perfect person for the
Yeah,
role.
like y'all probably know him from the movie Existence,
Right.
but you guys ever
Yeah.
watched that one?
Gattaca. He's great in Gattaca.
Gattaca.
Gattaca's are the greatest movies ever. But yeah, what's it? It's a Cronenberg Existence, or it's like that AR video game that's made out of flesh. It's
Okay.
Talented Mr. Ripley. He's good in that
crazy.
one.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I haven't seen that either, surprisingly. But anyway, end of the day, yes.
Alfie.
through-
he's in that one.
Yeah.
Now we're just gonna name movies
Yeah.
that he's in over and over again.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Kenobi has had a bunch.
He's in AI as Hey Joe. What do you know?
Gigolo Joe.
He was actually good at
Gigolo
Gigolo
Joe.
Yeah, yeah.
He's great in that.
He could turn on the music with a flick of his head.
I love his robot look too in that. That's
Yeah.
pretty rad.
It looks like
But,
it's kind of like the Energizer commercials
Here we go.
mixed
We've got
with
Max.
like
Max, how's it
mixed
going?
with
We're
Max
talking about how
Headroom.
Jude Law was almost cast
How you
as
doing, Max?
Robin in Batman
You've been good
forever.
years ago. Have been great.
Yeah.
What do you think about Jude Law?
I would have been okay with that.
I like Jude Law. I've always liked Jude Law.
No,
He's always entertaining to watch.
fair enough.
We've chose
fair
to
enough.
just dedicate the rest of this episode to Jude Law.
Okay.
I'm down with that.
No, we've got too much to cover. But I was trying to get in there that Kenobi had a budget of $90 million for the series, and with this new series budget, it's 136. I kind of question about why it's so much more. Part of it could be production wise, but the reality is, I've been saying this for the last year, the production materials costs of everything are going up so much. And I'm sure that a lot of the sets or anything that they build, just the cost of money in general goes towards the construction of.
I bet they're
materials.
recycling a lot, and I bet they
I
are.
don't know about
There's a lot of digital stuff now too, so they have to build less.
Well, yeah, there's
There's a
digital
good
stuff,
amount of digital assets.
but
And
Like
on
stuff
top
they
of that,
build
like-
on large scale is like digital.
yeah,
They only build
From
like
what-
the in betweens, you know.
From what I've heard, they use a lot of green materials for their building
back,
at
guys.
at what is it, Manhattan Beach Studios.
Oh,
like
yeah.
when they worked on Mandalorian, everything had to be like past a certain green.
Right.
Like the
Carbon
recyclable
footprint.
fiber sheets they have now and all that stuff.
They tried to lower the carbon footprint based on
Yeah.
the materials
Right,
that they're
right.
getting, and so they're always spending a lot more on that, like top notch,
Yeah.
like more than what average materials cost. So it's just
Right.
like, especially something Star Wars is just high on production value. You know,
Right. Yeah.
you can't make a cheap Star Wars. It's
Yeah,
impossible.
exactly.
But the volume helps. They don't
Yeah.
have to go to locations. And if they need
It-
dirt, they have a back lot. So
Yeah.
a lot of it is probably
And they're in
building.
California, so now when they want to go to the desert, they just drive to the desert.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they also got like Tunisia in their back pocket
Yeah.
with all that.
Yeah.
I think that it really does change everything because now they have both. So I don't know. I want to see how far they can push it.
Yeah.
But every time they wrap something up, they have to ship it to storage, and storage
Yes.
is still in
England.
the UK,
Yeah. Yeah.
along with
Well-
like all the original stuff from all the original Star Wars.
Yeah.
Man, they need to make two different ones. They need to make a storage, whatever.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
actually,
they
it's-
shipped the original Bantha outfit. They shipped all the way to LA to film for
Oh, yeah.
Mandalorian season 2,
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
just without an elephant in it because you can't do that these days.
Obviously. And that's actually interesting you say that because it's connecting that with Pinewood Studios, where they do shoot all the stuff in England. Pinewood Studios is getting a $950 million expansion plan. Obviously, because there is so much
Expansion
stuff
pack.
going on. Well, yeah, I mean, they've got so much stuff going on between Disney and Marvel and the Jurassic Park,
New
and the
skins.
James Bond films and everything. Well, I don't know. I mean,
They probably have to
expansion-
update their sound stages too after a while. I mean, just
That's-
like
I
any
assume
any,
that-
any studio where they're tearing down their old ones
Yeah.
to build new ones.
Yeah.
Like all this studios are doing that basically.
Yeah. Well, maybe not in England. I don't know specifically what they're spending it towards, but I assume it is a lot more studios.
Liam, tell us.
Liam, tell us.
You're our ambassador. You gotta fill us in on this stuff, Liam. Pull your weight. Just joking.
Anyway.
Sorry, Brent.
Okay. Anyway, yeah. But yeah, it's going to be kind of curious to see what happens with Star Wars. I still wish they were a little bit more forthcoming with some of their the leaks that keep coming out, and be a bit more kind of up present with dropping certain things along the way, because Lucasfilms, they're not, Marvel are the total end game of doing it right in the way of dropping upcoming stuff. I think we can all agree with that Lucasfilm need to kind of improve.
We got like a whole slate. Yes, we got a slate and a half yesterday. Star Wars has no real anything right now.
Exactly. Yeah. Even at the Star Wars Celebration, they didn't have. They had bits and pieces, but nothing really solid.
They need a central figure to kind of manage everything. So we've got like Kevin Feige to like handle everything and understand it. Just give it to Dave Filoni or.
No, you don't
Jon
want
Favreau.
you don't want to pull those guys away from production, because they're doing their awesome job there.
I guess they just need one centralized person to kind of
Call the shots and say this is where
call
we're
the
going.
shots. And like,
a
yeah,
good solid
try to
market, a good
the
solid
bigger
market.
picture in mind always, you know?
Wait, Liam has a response as representative of the United Kingdom. You're not doing nothing to confirm about. There's no idea what's going on. That says
y'all
about right.
y'all gotta deal with heat right now that we deal with on a yearly
Daily
basis.
Daily basis in California. Anyway, moving on. Other stuff that I saw, one thing I did see that was inside the San Diego Comic Con. We're jumping to Squid Games here, but Funko Pop had a giant statue of the
My friend sent me a picture of that.
image. Huh? Yeah.
My
It's
friend
a
sent me
Funko
a
always
picture
has-
of that when he was there. He
Yeah.
was like, I was like, whoa, dang.
Yeah,
Big
try
old
not to
Funko
move.
Pop.
Anyway,
do
I thought it was kind of cool.
You guys ever go to the Funko Pop museums whenever they're the pop-ups, whenever
Not
they're in
yet.
town?
Well,
walked by
it's not
one.
pop up. There's a store now on Hollywood Boulevard. Just
Yeah,
across
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
from
that's
where
not a
I'm
pop-up
either.
anymore. I
No,
thought that was a
No, you
pop-up.
can make your
It's
own
not-
now down there.
It's one of their
Yeah.
I
flagship
was like,
stores.
damn, this pop-up's been here for a while.
We should do it live. We should go in there live sometime. And
There
just
are
do
only
it.
there are only like 3 of those stores. There's like one in wherever their base is, one in New York and one here in Hollywood.
Yeah, yeah.
And they're big. It's like going
yeah.
and walking in some giant display.
Their base is up in Seattle. Another friend of the channel, Levi from All New Nerds, went up there and had a walkthrough up there, and he said he showed photos. It's like there's an entire Hoth sequence of Star Wars.
Oh, it's
Hoth.
That's
That's
yeah. If you guys,
giant
yeah,
tauntauns and stuff like that.
I'm surprised both of you guys. You haven't. You can just walk
know.
in. It's
Yeah,
just
I
a
know.
store. It's a
Yeah.
store. You can just walk in.
We should still go in there. We should all go in there one day and just podcast from in there.
You can make your own Funko Pops there, I think. I think that's like their whole thing.
Yes.
Oh, really?
People like actually when that first started, people were waiting in line just to be
Yeah.
in the
It's like
in the
a Build-A-Bear.
yes for like
For
just
Funko
we
Pop.
can select this many people
Yeah.
for the day, and
Right.
you can build your own, or you can make yourself, or whatever you want. You tell them what you want, piece
Mhm.
together, and they make one for you.
Instead of a heart that you kiss to put in, I kiss this contract.
Yeah,
Own your likeness.
and they're reasonably priced. I think it's like $25 or $30 or whatever to make your own like pop.
That's cool.
And
Yeah, I
I'm not
walked
sure
by
how it's
that.
going on for a while. Like, there's way more options than.
We'll do that sometime. Funko had a big landing up there at Celebration. I think they've got their main stage today at the Celebration, which is today's the last day at San Diego Comic Con. But I don't know. I mean, I'm not a huge Funko Pop purchaser, but I definitely admire the work that goes into the quantity of what they do. And I just found it kind of iconic to see something like this. Was kind of fun to see just for that.
Yeah,
I admire their business plan. Holy crap. That's such
Oh,
a good
yeah.
it's
Sure.
crazy.
get
I mean,
all
I
those
remember when they
properties.
first. I remember when they first started too, up at City Walk with the little bobblehead thing
Mhm.
in the. That was like way back in the day when that store first opened.
We forgot to mention, yay, we hit 300 subscribers. We hit 300 subscribers today. Thanks, Anchorman, for reminding me of that. Woo,
Milestone.
Yay. Yeah. Yay. Well, milestone for us. I mean, it's still a long way to go before we get monetized, but it's little stepping stones. We do appreciate everybody who has kind of followed us along the way as well. So what else is there that was going on this week? One other quick thing as well. Dune Part 2 started shooting. I think we're all kind of excited for that. I'm happy to see that it was picked up. I'm glad it did get picked up, so that'll be out. I think 2024. I think is the year.
I just think it's interesting they're not making the same mistake Avatar made, where they're not like waiting a couple of years till technology gets better or anything. They're just immediately starting production so people remember it.
Oh no, totally, absolutely, yeah. I mean, yeah, no, for sure.
I know Avatar is like are they releasing the game or something? Jeez.
And the game just got delayed.
Yeah. Yes, I saw that, which means that the Star Wars game through the same company is probably going to get delayed as well.
Yeah, I heard just that whole company, Ubisoft, is kind of just a mess right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of the big ones are because it's like they're trying to update the technology and make things smoother, but it's just not happening.
Yeah, it just creates more issues.
Yeah. Now that they're using Unreal Engine to make like films, do you think they share a lot of assets with the video games these days?
For sure.
I'm sure they do. I think that's how they kind of got that stuff from video games, right?
Because every digital asset they make for Star Wars for the volume has like logged and like archived. So they got like every little mountain range in Mandalorian or anytime anything appears in the volume. So like they could easily just get it. Oh, here's access to all our stuffs here, like literally in the.
You just put on the helmet.
The same exact.
Go into the start,
like Johnny Mnemonic, just like
the
archives,
going through everything.
I did see it on the big screen. I think we all saw it on the big screen. Did we see June 1? You guys saw June 1.
I saw it on HBO Max.
Yeah. Oh, you saw it on HBO Max? Yeah,
I saw it on HBO Max.
I braved the elements and saw it on the big screen, and it was a small crowd, but it was great. It was cool.
It's good. Check it out. It's on digital now, and Blu-ray. It's so good.
So
the spice must flow.
Brent bought the soundtrack.
I did. 1 of 3.
Yeah. That's like most of the soundtrack, dude. It's like that's what you wanna. You getting that? You just gonna listen to that lady.
That's why I got 1 of 3.
So you like the Battlestar soundtrack? So there's some similarities there. A lot of that.
So. Yeah, guys, let's kind of jump into everything else that got dropped at San Diego Comic-Con over the last couple of days. And we're going to start our way back a little bit. We'll jump into the Marvel stuff a little bit later. But for now, House of Dragons, the kind of prequel to the
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones, thank you, yes. They showed some trailer stuff for that. I'm invested in checking out the pilot and seeing where it goes. How about you guys? What's your thoughts on this series?
It looks cool. I just don't like what's his name's face, and I just watched Morbius in the plane.
Matt Smith. There's a lot of people that don't like his. I thought he was great as Doctor Who.
I think he's a great actor. He seems like a nice guy. I just can't look at his face for too long.
Fair enough.
I mean, it works for a Targaryen, They're all like inbred, kind of like weirdos. So it's perfect. It's perfect casting.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I'm invested. Actually, I mean, I'll be honest. It's like I don't really know too many of the cast members. He's the only one I really do know as a cast member, and I'd be invested in seeing it just because of him.
Who else is it? I think I saw the Dr. Connors, the lizard man. Is he in it?
Oh, he's in it. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Is he?
Could be.
I don't know. He's British.
It's like something Riz, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Reese.
However they say it.
He's also Little Nicky, right? Is he Little Nicky? Is the older brother?
Right.
Just eat some cheese pizza and schnapps in the subway.
Yeah.
I think that's the same actor. It's also in what's that Julia Roberts movie that everyone loves? Notting Hill.
Oh, Notting Hill.
That was not
Liam, where you at? Liam, where you at, man? Help me out, bro.
Anyway, I don't think Liam's probably a fan of Notting Hill. Just a wild guess. Anyway, I'm excited to see this series. At least watch the beginning of it and see if it holds my interest. Because I mean, as much of a fan as it was on the other series, it kind of down and it hit its peak and then it kind of downed a little bit at the end there.
When I was in the middle of watching like Game of Thrones and I was really into it, I would have loved something like this, like something that happened in the height of like the Targaryens, which I always like fantasized about. I was like, dang man, these Targaryens must be crazy, like hearing about all the history and stuff of them. And you had like
you got other people from England, by the way, Jason, just so you know.
Oh, I didn't know. Yeah. Well, anyways, like. Oh, sorry. Yep. Brent, move on. I know you want to move on.
No, that's fine. Speak.
Okay, so like I would watch, like the DVD, the DVD series where they'd have like stories of like old times, and it'd be narrated by the guy who played Robert Baratheon. Mm-hmm. And you'd see stuff like that and be like, oh man, it must have been so cool while dragons were alive and just the height and the Targaryens and stuff. But after Game of Thrones finished, I'm kind of just like, I'll check it out. I mean,
this seems like it's right at
the ship has passed.
The ship has passed. No, maybe we'll see. I mean, the whole idea of we're at the height of the dragons in this time period from a couple of hundred years earlier. So, I'm curious. I'm curious to see how it all plays out. I don't know if it's necessarily something that I'll be invested in continuing to watch just yet. It has to be a really solid season 1 for me to really kind of want to see more.
I do like the new Iron Throne.
Yeah.
It looks more like the concept art.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the original concept art where there's like just more swords on the ground too.
Right. Oh yeah.
What happened to it? Did they just like, we need swords?
Yeah, exactly. There's a big battle to start taking them.
But leave the ones on the throne.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see that story. Other stuff they dropped. They did show a brief trailer for Picard Season 3, which has got almost the entire original cast back in from Star Trek Next Generation, which is kind of cool. I mean, it was definitely a very geeky moment for me.
Wait a minute, is it everybody, the full cast, or is it just one new person?
They're missing one character.
They're missing
Data, Brent Spiner.
And wait a minute, the kid.
Data was already in the show.
Will Wheaton appeared at the end of season 2.
Data gone?
Spoilers, sorry guys. Data is gone because Data blew up in Star Trek Nemesis.
Data blew up.
But he's in the first episode of the show, too.
Well, that was not really. The
actor. The actor's in it.
Oh no, he's Brent Spiner appeared as other characters in this.
The character blew up in a TV show.
He did blow up. No, he blew up saving Captain Picard. It wasn't a TV show. He blew up at the movie in Star Trek Nemesis.
I don't know Star Trek, but
that was the last Star Trek 10, Star Trek Nemesis.
Like he blew up, like saving his life or whatever.
Saves.
Elijah, you may know him as the actor, the scientist in Independence Day.
Yes.
I know that he's that weird scientist.
He's an awesome actor. Brent Spiner.
He's a good actor. Awesome. I mean, I don't. The new generation. That was the really one I watched the most of. So that's the Star Trek that I like. I know the most, but still wasn't a fan.
Yeah. Anyway, it's interesting that they're not focusing on Brent Spiner being in this, but he has been in the other seasons of Picard as other characters. So I assume that he will reappear. But I'm liking the older look for all these characters. I think
you got Whoopi and you got that other guy.
What do you mean age? Yeah. You're just talking.
Well, no, I'm just saying. You've got.
That's a good older look. Yeah, they aged.
they aged. Yes, 25
called
years.
Aging.
Look what they did to LeVar Burton's hair. No, that's just time.
But out of all of them, I like the way they.
That's what Warp Speed does to you.
He's got normal looking eyes now.
Worf the Klingon is looking cool. He's digging the white
he aged pretty cool. That stood out to me. I'm just like, whoa.
For sure. Yeah. So if you're a fan of Star Trek Picard, I have to admit, the series was okay. I prefer, as I've said,
it sucks, guys. Don't watch it.
It doesn't suck. It just I prefer Strange New Worlds.
If you watch it, they'll make more.
It's a swing and a miss.
Right.
If you watch it, they'll make more. Don't watch it.
Right. The Doctor is missing. Wait a minute. No, Dr. Beverly Crush is there. Yeah, Beverly Crush is there. She's the second image in. Yeah, I think they're gonna rekindle a romance there. Anyway,
Reunited.
Was the doctor a robot? He was a programmer.
Reunited.
No. What? Oh no, that's Star Trek Voyager. Voyager might be the new spin-off series. Hopefully, I don't know. We'll see. But
the digital doctor.
The digital doctor, yeah, which is played by Robert Picardo, who is awesome.
You're gonna see it. You're gonna see it. They'll bring it back. So why'd you age?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Oh no, it could be in his program. They age. No. Okay, well,
we'll write it in somehow.
We're gonna write it. We're gonna go down this rabbit hole.
Some characters come in and they haven't aged, but they're aliens who shouldn't. But then they explain it somehow. It's like, well, it's more comfortable for the rest of them if I were to make myself look older. Something like that, you know?
Oh, is that what they did with the
Whoopi? You gotta write it in. It's always a thing you gotta at least mention if your character inappropriately ages somehow.
Well, they did that at the end of Voyager, the series finale of Voyager. They go 25 years or 10 years in the future or something. 20 years in the future, I think it was. And the Doctor has aged himself in the series, so that he felt like
shit! Is that the end game? The end game episode?
Not the end game episode. Maybe it is end game. No, yeah, it could have been end game. Oh yeah,
it's what inspired Infinity or Avengers Endgame, pretty much.
Endgame. Not really.
No.
Anyway.
When's the last time you watched it?
What's that?
It's crazy. It's almost parallel to Avengers Endgame, man.
Okay. You're kidding me, right?
No, I'm not.
Okay. I can't tell when you're.
You got to check it out. You got to check it out.
All right. Wait, you're saying that Star Trek Voyager finale Endgame is what inspires Endgame of the Infinity Wars?
Maybe unknowingly.
Thanos is in both.
It's written. It's
the way they have to go back
and
sacrifice themselves to
Oh, okay.
For a different.
I guess so. Yeah, it was a time travel.
There are a lot of parallels.
All right, there is some parallels. Okay, I agree. Okay, I can.
On top of more than just it being called Endgame. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Anyway, being the case, because I think we've stayed on Captain Picard series 2 long enough at this point, but I'm curious to see. This is the finale of the Picard story arc, so I'll be curious to see how they do this.
Thank God.
It'll be fun for me to see the original cast back in, because I do, nostalgic wise, they've been in my life for like 30 years of characters, so it's going to be fun. 30 years plus, actually. The other thing they did mention on the Star Trek universe is season 3 of Lower Decks, which I haven't actually watched any of them because I just don't have any interest. I've heard it's very funny, but I just don't know if comedy and.
You should check it out, Brent. I mean, see what happened to Captain or Miss Marvel.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, fair enough.
Brent was the biggest Miss Marvel hater.
I wasn't a hater. I said it was the least of my...
It was crazy.
No.
It was relentless. I was like, Brent, please, I can't handle this much hate. Just kidding. I ramp it up. I ramp it up every week.
It was least on my tier list, and it reversed. We've said
Miss Marvel hater over here.
It wasn't a hater.
Finally, he's seen the light.
God.
He loves
it. He's seen the night light.
Well,
he's going as Miss Marvel for Con next year. Cosplay.
The hard light.
I'm gonna cosplay as Miss Marvel.
The hard light. He's seen the hard light.
Fair enough. The other show that they dropped a small trailer on for its series finale season is The Walking Dead. Now, I kind of bailed
This
out
was
the
such
show.
that was the worst thing I've ever seen them do. Is them turn the
Why
Rick
are we
Grimes
even
movie.
talking about this?
I don't know. Walking Dead.
Why are we even talking about Walking Dead?
Because I'm pointing out stuff that was actually mentioned.
You just skipped Rings of Power and go to Walking Dead?
I haven't skipped Rings of Power yet.
Walking Dead's a disaster. I'll just put that out there.
Yeah.
I mean, we should have discussed Rings of Power after Game of Thrones or whatever.
That's all right. I'm skipping
Dragon,
but
then
Walking
Dead?
I used to love that show, but
we all did.
They announced a series of Rick Grimes movies, a trilogy, and now they canceled it and turned it into a TV show.
See, Liam likes it. So
make a Frank Grimes
how
movie.
good could it be then?
Rick Grimes.
I'm kidding.
Grab that, Liam.
You know what? The only thing I got from this particular trailer that I thought was interesting and cool was that the zombies have evolved.
That this show's still on?
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
they're
that's
in
the
their last
season.
they're in the
That's
second
what I
season,
got
they're
from
in
this.
the last
the
season.
season finale. Yes, but yeah, that was the one cool thing that happened was they actually say the zombies have evolved. They can climb walls now.
Actually, you know what? When I
Okay,
went to
well, there you go. Wow.
when I went to the Philippines, like when
Mhm.
it was like
Yep.
the finales for like Game of Thrones was coming on, so I asked my cousin. I was like, "Dude, I can't get HBO here. How am I gonna watch?" Runs like an internet cafe, and he's
Yeah,
like,
agree
"Oh,
there.
I don't watch that. If you want Walking Dead, I can give you that because we
Right.
don't watch Game of Thrones. We watch Walking Dead here.
Yeah.
It was
Walking
really
Dead,
popular in the
Walking Dead was
Philippines.
huge.
Oh no,
For a
Yeah,
while, it
it's
was
but in
like
some
yeah,
places, it's still huge.
it's
Just
got
not
2 spin-offs and more coming.
not around me.
3
yeah.
spin-offs.
Well,
It's
anyway,
crazy.
being the
I've
day,
seen every episode. At this point, I
yeah.
just hate watching it. I
Oh
will
really?
say
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
You
See,
still
I
watch it
bailed
though.
out. I
Dang.
bailed out.
It's
Yeah, I bet
oh
I
man,
watch
You need-
they did a COVID
Max-
season. It was weird.
Max is the person who needs to know how these things end, so he has
It's a
to sit and
COVID
watch it.
show.
I actually bailed out when just after Negan came in. I just started getting
Really, that's when you bailed?
well a little after. Yeah, I think I saw that whole season. but
Yeah, I
was
think
just
Glenn died and I stopped
That's
watching.
a big Glenn fan.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well, it
stopped
wasn't
season
just
2.
that. It wasn't just that. I was getting the same content
Glenn fan.
every season at that point.
Stephen Yoon
Um,
fan in general.
But
Stephen
you
Yeun's
know,
great.
the
Yeah.
series
Stephen
comes
Yeun.
to an end.
Yeah.
Ben
We love
McCrory, who does the
Stephen Yeun.
soundtrack. Ben McCrory did the soundtrack for the series all the way through 11 seasons. Made a note. No, but he made a note of they recorded their last episode a few weeks.
He made a
back,
note.
so-
I'm sick of this show. I want to move on to something else already. Jesus.
Oh, he's got
Christ.
something. Oh, he's got something else to move on to. Oh, he's got something very, very big to move on to. He's moved on to the Rings of Power. He's actually doing the soundtrack.
Brent!
Oh, how,
Brent!
segue straight in, straight
the
into
segue!
that. Yes.
Nice. They
Ben-
are rare, but Brent's got some segues sometimes.
Yeah.
He worked it
Ben
in.
McCrory, who did the soundtrack for The Walking Dead, is also now doing the soundtrack for the Rings of Power. And one of the things that they did show that unfortunately we couldn't play it here, they had a live concert showing, and he was scoring the opening, one of the themes, I guess, to the Rings of Power, and it sounds beautiful. I watched it online. I actually had to find the pieces online, and nobody had a full
cry?
recording from beginning to end. There was,
did it
no, I'm not.
make you
I'm not going to either deny.
Did
or,
you get verklempt?
Whatever. I
He
thought
cried.
there was some
It's
nice
touching.
stuff in there.
It touched you?
There was some nice
Emotional.
emotionally.
Pick
touching-
another topic. Sauron
You're gonna
looks
give
like
it
an
Clem.
incel boy.
He's gonna give
Let's
a Clem.
argue. All right, Liam wants us to argue.
What do you think about the Sauron?
They dropped us some kind of cool posters for the Rings of Power. This series comes out September 2nd. Again, the other show I completely forgot that they're actually dropping at the same time period is Rings of Power. As Andor and everything else. We're going to get so much content over the next 2 months. It's going to drive us crazy. All of it's a new content. But yeah, I mean, I like them. We saw the trailer. They dropped a trailer for us. And it looks good. I meant a new trailer, I should say. I'm invested more than I was, say, a few months ago in checking this series out. And it seems like the cast seemed pretty, hyped about it and everything.
Let's go see more Middle Earth, I guess.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
always
I don't
happy
know.
for more Middle Earth. As
Yeah.
much as I hated the Hobbit trilogy,
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah. That
I
drag.
I
don't
was
mind it
like
that
having
much.
to
It had
see
some fun scenes,
Middle
but it
Earth.
was.
Yeah.
Like
But this-
Transformers, like
But-
I'm not
but-
watching for a
I
story.
wouldn't say it was
like
Transformers.
watch
but
for
it
a
was-
barrel boat ride,
But
I
this,
don't know. I feel like it was like the MCU of Middle Earth, where it was very
Yeah.
sanitized. It was very, glossy compared to the Lord of the Rings movies.
yeah. Well, this is the cast. It's quite a big
Oh.
cast in there. Yeah, like
It's a
the
big
lead
ass
cast.
cast.
Yeah. But
You need
it's
a bigger
several-
room to hold
Yeah,
these people.
it's larger. It's large. But the basically from what I heard, from what I understand, this series has nothing to do with the feature films themselves, in the sense of a connection to the look and style and
Yeah.
everything of those characters. So they are doing a different art to this whole thing, and not trying to tie it directly into those, even though those characters exist in their universe. if they ever decided to go forward and do something different, they might continue future stories in their own version of Bilbo.
I think they share some characters too, like Galadriel.
Right.
Yeah, Galadriel.
Right, but I'm saying like if they were to go forward with any stories of Galadriel, they might end up by using the actress who they picked rather than the Lord of the Rings movies cast of any sort.
Kate Blanchett, you mean?
Kate Blanchett. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. It would be like if they choose to do more Han Solo with
It's different. Well, I don't know. I mean,
it's because Lord of the Rings has been around for a really long time, and it's just a different take on it. Middle Earth
it's another take, and in the past.
They want the money, Liam.
Yeah, I mean they have the rights to Middle Earth. They're gonna make Middle Earth stuff.
Yeah.
They need to keep that going. If they got amusement parks, they need to like hope. You know, they've got things they need to keep going.
Yeah.
Middle Earth amusement park would be great.
It's another show that's coming out all at the same time as everything else.
That'd be crazy.
I'm excited to check it out. I don't know if we'll necessarily do reactions to it or anything, because I feel like we've got enough that we're going to be reacting to in the coming future as stories, but that are dropping. But I'm curious to see what it's like. I'm very curious to listen to the main the soundtrack itself, and see what Ben McCrory brings to the table. They actually did use Howard Shore's score. Correction, they used Howard Shore to score the main opening sequence. So
okay, good. God, because I was like, I would have been disappointed about that.
Right, yeah. But
he has to.
Yeah, but Ben McCrory does some beautiful stuff too. He has.
What else did he do?
Oh, what?
Other than,
what else? Are you serious? Oh,
he's a skateboarder. Ben Margera.
Battlestar Galactica, Outlander.
Oh,
The Walking
that was
Dead.
just saying like Battlestar soundtrack.
Yeah, you know who.
You could thank him for the always including the.
Of course. Well, no, but he has great stuff in the. Dude, this new score has got a lot of that, by the way.
That's so early 2000s.
I'm gonna send you a link later after we talk about this, and you're gonna.
Oh no, I don't mind that in like a fantasy movie. He's the one who brought it into sci-fi, and it kind of made this new hybrid of like fantasy. I don't know. It's just.
Yeah, but you haven't watched all of Battlestar Galactica yet either. You need to see that series. I mean,
yeah.
Oh, quite.
And there's a lot I need to see.
Oh yeah, but it's still my favorite series of all time. Anyway. Being that out of the way, let's jump back into Rings of Power. So yeah, I mean, basically that's Rings of Power. I mean, anything else you want to add on that?
I don't care.
So no from Elijah because he's not.
I don't care. I'm not into it. I'm not. I mean, you know, I saw Lord of the Rings. Those were good. It's about where that ends for me.
I don't know. I'm on the fence about it.
Right.
But you know, I'm always happy to see more Middle Earth. But it's just.
It's supposed to be the most expensive series ever shot now at this point, too, from what I understand. But then
again, it's inflation. That's inflation.
Well, for sure.
Stuff's getting cost more.
Yeah.
Our lumber bill pushed us over the limit. We're
I have a friend who learned that he's working on that right now.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Who learned that he's working on it? Okay.
He learned that he's working because like they weren't really straightforward on it, but like the work he needs to do, he doesn't really need to know. Yeah, but he kind of just figured it out. Right. And he was like, "Oh,
that's cool.
Apparently, I'm working on a new Lord of the Rings thing."
Yeah. When you say that, it's like usually they outsource little things to different departments and different companies to do things, and usually they won't say specifically what it is that.
Yeah. Well, he has to commute. He has to commute to London every like other month for it.
Damn. So. Okay. All right. Well, that's bigger up then. That's cool. That's awesome. Other things in the realm of fantasy that they also dropped. They did drop the Dungeons and Dragons Honor Among Thieves trailer.
Slightly better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I mean it looks kind of fun.
It looks terrible.
Yeah, just a complete side note.
It looks fun.
I literally, it was my nephew's birthday yesterday. I called up and wished him a happy birthday, and he's been playing Dungeons and Dragons with his friends for the last couple of months.
Just like his uncle.
He's only 10 years old. I mean, I'm very proud about that. He's 10 years old, and he's like...
Well, how old were the kids in Stranger Things in the first season?
They're about 13. Yeah.
Oh, they're like teenagers?
Usually it's about 12 when you start getting into it. But it is a complicated system of how to play and learn how to play with Dungeons and Dragons. That aside, I'm very proud of that.
Brent's making him sound like Technic Lego sets.
Yeah. Well, anyway, being the fact, I don't know if Chris Pine is necessarily the right choice. He would never have been my first choice for a leader in the Dungeons and Dragons world of a character in it. But I mean, it looks kind of fun.
He's got high charisma points.
Yeah.
You kind of need a high charisma ranking for being a leader.
And I wouldn't have put Hugh Grant in there either, but Hugh Grant is in there as the villain, I think.
I don't know anything about his character, but apparently he's supposed to be just a musician or like a minstrel or something like that.
He plays a lute.
He's
probably
he's just a musician.
Probably originally a ward or something.
He's a bard.
Oh yeah, a bard. I mean,
bard or a paladin. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
But then he's like just picked up his, he just picked up a sword and started
into
fighting.
This adventure. Yeah,
that's cool. Joe Manganiello is going to be in the movie as his canon D&D character.
Oh, that would be cool.
Vin Diesel.
Yeah, I mean, at this point,
there's a lot of famous D&D fans that I'm surprised aren't in this movie.
Well, they can just executive produce. They're like, oh, what, a D&D movie? I'll put my money into that.
How's it going?
They're probably all executive producers.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Do you think they're going to incorporate any of the gameplay in this? And if so, how would they?
It's just Chris Pine sitting down and rolling dice.
If you treat it like the animated cartoon of Dungeons and Dragons, where players ended up getting pulled into the world of Dungeons and Dragons, I don't think so. I think we're just
just like the gameplay, like reference to the gameplay, maybe even within that. Like it would suck if it was like this is all happening in fantasy.
No, I doubt it.
At the end of the movie, you zoom out, and they're all just playing a game.
Yeah, or you get to the theater and it's just a table. They're all sitting at a table in costume.
I doubt it very much. There's no need to break that particular fourth wall. I think it's just going to be.
I don't think that would be a smart move. It wouldn't be a smart move for like a franchise,
Yeah.
Maybe for like a oneer to do that, but there's got to be a reference to any dice rolling in the movie. Probably.
I'm sure there'll be a D20 somewhere in the movie.
this world of intertextuality, of our reliance on it for our movies, hence Picard, there's gonna be some reference. There's gotta be.
I mean, I don't know if you guys saw it was about 20 years ago. It came out, the original Dungeons and Dragons movie.
This is Jeffrey Irons and
I remember.
Jeffrey Irons, Marlon Brando. Or even not Marlon Wayans.
Marlon Wayans. And it was Jeremy Irons, not Jeffrey Irons.
No, Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons.
I got my first name of one and last name of the other one messed up.
It was not a good movie. I mean, it just was boring as hell. I'm hoping this will be a bit more fun.
You gotta consider the time it came out too was not a really good time for movies.
Yeah, they had a lot of misses when they were trying to get
what year did that first Dungeons and Dragons come out? It was like Mortal Kombat 2 came out that same year or something.
Yeah, 2000 I think it was. I was working at the theaters. I've got the banner. I've got like a 10-foot by 4-foot banner for that film.
Why?
It was going to be because I thought it was going to be better than what it was, and I ended up with a banner.
Still have it?
I still got it.
Still have it?
Yeah, it's cool. Actually going to cause like.
You got busted out when this one comes out.
Yeah, maybe. Like, no, I probably won't. I would rather see Dungeons and Dragons as a TV series than a feature film, personally.
It would be cool.
Yeah, I can see that. That'd be a cool show.
Because I feel like you want to be invested in starting off following these low-level characters and watch them build and build and build over the course of a few seasons. I feel that's the way I would prefer to actually see that. And as they advance in skill and level, you see that development each season. And each season becomes a new level of skill and understanding. That's
how Netflix should have done their Choose Your Own Adventure show that they did instead of Black Mirror.
Yeah.
The Bandersnatch.
Yeah.
Bandersnatch.
That was fun.
That was fun. I don't know. I thought I was really kind of hoping for a little more though.
Around that time, I got hired to do a bunch of pitch decks for like Choose Your Own Adventure stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh yeah.
Because people were trying to jump on it like crazy. That's like, all right, this is going to be a choose your own adventure type thing. So we need this type of.
Yeah.
But I guess that was the only thing, and then they didn't really expand on that anyway. I think people liked it.
Oh, either way, that film comes out next year. I'm curious to see what it's going to be like. I guess it's going to be fun. I hope it does well enough to get more investment into a series or continuing movies and stuff like that. The other thing that they dropped at Celebration this past week was He-Man
Comic-Con,
and the
not
Master...
Celebration.
Celebration. Comic-Con.
Comic-Con.
My bad. He-Man
Comic
and the Master of the
Celebration.
Universe turned 40 years old this year.
Bodhi.
Which is kind of cool because Kevin Smith just got released that they announced that they got picked up for season 2 of their animated series. Bear McCreary does the soundtrack, surprisingly, Jason, for Masters of the Universe Revelations, the animated series.
Man, him and Ludwig Göransson just like always working.
Yeah, and they actually had they've got William Shatner cast as a character in season 2 of the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe Revelations series.
Nice.
So, yeah, I mean, you know, it's kind of crazy. I grew up with this as a cartoon and stuff. I've got some of the several animated
Crazy,
cells
40 years.
40 years of He-Man, yeah, I know.
I think back to when we were in the 80s or whatever, and count back 40 years from the 80s.
Well,
that's
if you were to go back and actually look at the cartoon, that's pretty easy to understand. Like,
oh yeah, absolutely, I agree.
Filmation.
I mean, yeah.
They did all the rotoscoping, weird rotoscoping happening.
Yeah,
it's so funny.
But
the running.
But they were the last American animation company to keep their entire animated characters and stories shot in-house within the United States. Every other company had outsourced to overseas for their animation cells. So you got to give Filmation credit for that.
Oh, I have
they held on to the end.
Which I've learned that I have a tracing table from that studio. Remember?
We'll have to hear that one day sometime.
And the old Filmation studio,
yes.
That old Filmation studio is very near your new place, Brent.
Oh, really?
Which is kind of like,
Ooh.
Cool.
That's cool.
If we ever drive by the building, like that was the Filmation building.
Oh,
I remember
really?
the sign used to be up on the side of that Filmation.
Yeah. I was moving that drawing, like the clear, like the animation table that I have.
Yes.
That's cool.
I was like moving
This
it,
is a cool
I flipped
story.
it over.
You're like looking at the
I
back.
flipped it over, and it was like Filmation. I was like, oh my god. And right away I took a picture and I sent it to Brent. I was like, dude, check out what I learned that I've been having for like a couple of years now.
Part of this side story is that Jason has a table that is an old animation cell where you put your animation cells. It's got all these little pegs where it's designed to slot into each cell.
And it rotates too.
So that they keep everything on, and it rotates and everything like that. So it allows them to do this. And it was always a cool thing by itself. But then when he found out it was actually an original Filmation piece, it was like, wow, they did some serious animated series of these. Anyway,
not very good animation, but animation
wow,
nonetheless.
yeah, but stuff that I grew up with. Anyway,
I don't care if you grew up with it. It's subjectively bad animation.
Yeah.
Growing up with it doesn't make it.
Yeah. Well, speaking of
like
animation,
going back to Ninja Turtles, I used to love that, and it's all like poor quality,
So speaking of animation, hey, we're on a great segues trip this way. We've got a few actors that are being announced here that are also in the Gremlins series.
The Mogwai thing.
Yeah, Mogwai, The Secrets of the Mogwai. Sandra Yo, who was in one of my favorite series of all time, well, one of my favorite series of
Grey's Anatomy?
Killing Eve. Wait, who's the second one there? Oh, Randall, oh God, I can't.
Randall Park.
Park, yes, Randall Park. I've seen his face around. He's done a lot of stuff, of course. It's George Takei and Bowen Yang, who is...
he's he's from the Ant-Man. He's in the last Ant-Man and WandaVision as Agent Wong. Or Agent... What's his name?
Is it...
Max?
Is that...
Who, Randall Park's character?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Randall Park, of course, yeah.
Randall Park, whatever. The magician dude, man.
Right.
Yeah.
What was his last name? Not
he wasn't a magician yet in Ant-Man. That's when he gets inspired.
Yeah, he's the guy who learned the card trick.
Not yet, Millie. Millie, we've got so much Marvel to talk about. It's going to be crazy. We're getting close to catching up to Marvel, though. Sorry.
So, I'm just trying to think of his name, his character's name, because he's in like WandaVision.
Jimmy
also.
Woo.
Jimmy Woo.
That's it. Yes.
Yeah, Millie. Thank you.
Yep. But anyway, this is also interesting. They're getting Zach Gillian to come back and make a surprise guest role in the series of Gremlins, of the animated series too.
And everyone's like, who?
who played, of course, in the original Gremlins and Gremlins 2. Oh, we just lost the Elijah. But yeah, I'm curious to see what they do there, because it's like he's a character from the present. This series is supposed to take place in 1920s China, which I think is kind of sets the date. So it allows
Is he
you
just
to
gonna
do.
be a character there, and they just got him because he was in the first Gremlins?
I don't know. I think maybe they'll do a flashback story. Maybe it's through his through his eyes or something. But Zach Galligan will be in this animated series, and the show
Gizmo's
takes
telling
place
him
in
the story and like
1920s China. I don't know, 1920s
Princess
China.
Bride style, just
So
like telling him a story, and they go
could be. I
flashback.
don't know.
telling the story to his
I
kids,
don't
like this
know.
is what happened.
It could be. I don't know. But
Still
I
no
like the
Howie
fact.
Mandel.
I like the what? I like the fact that yeah. I
We
like
we
the-
don't
what?
Phoebe Cates giving any stories because Phoebe Cates was like a
Is
nightmare
Howie
a
Mandel
story
has-
about, like,
yes.
a terrible story.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
We
But
didn't get-
Howie Mandel hasn't been casted yet.
I don't know. Anyway,
What?
we don't have.
No, do you know who that
Huh? What's that?
Howie Mandel
I-
hasn't been casted yet?
I don't think so.
That's like Gizmo's voice.
I think he might do it and just be uncredited or whatever. Because last time it wasn't really like Howie Mandel is the voice of Gizmo.
Right.
They didn't like give
Yeah,
him
it
top
wasn't
billing or
starring.
anything. Like he wasn't even like barely even.
I know, but if you're
credited.
talking about news for this,
Yeah,
You would
no,
think,
totally.
yeah,
you
you would
that
think
would
that
be
they
the
would
thing
put
you
his
At
name
this
in
point,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Basically, yeah. As I said, Randall Park, Sandra Oh, George Takei, and Bill and Yang, who is part of Saturday Night Live. So it's got.
he's also in Nora from Queens.
Yeah, he is. I still remember where else he was in it. I remember him being in that too. Yeah.
He's also in that movie Fire Island that was just like straight on Netflix.
Yeah,
recently.
he's doing very well. Seems to be like most of the Saturday Night Live cast there.
He's the first Asian Saturday Night Live cast member.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Yeah,
it's,
he's doing
it's
great in the show.
Yeah, he's doing. Yeah, he's been pretty funny. He's been getting a lot of recognition. But it's good to see that they're keeping this animated series very Chinese.
All we're missing is BD Wong. Where you at?
I'm sure
BD
he'll pop up
Wong.
somewhere. Wait, didn't he?
Wait, he's
I thought
already in it,
He's already in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's part of the. Yeah, he's part of the first.
All right, all we're
announcements we
missing is
did.
Aquafina.
Oh yeah, okay, fair enough. Anyway, moving on from that, National Treasure, the series. I don't know if anybody really kind of asked or called for that, but
Is Nick Cage not even in it?
I
It's
don't think he's in it.
edutainment, Brent.
I
Yeah,
literally
I
don't
would
want to
be
see anyone
entertained.
trying to steal U.S. historical artifacts unless it's Nick
Yeah.
Cage.
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
I
He's
agree.
got to be in it. He's
He was-
got to
he
be
was good in
right.
those
At
films.
least like
I
in the
don't know.
pilot, just as taking the mantle, passing the mantle.
Maybe it's his kid. I don't know. I honestly don't know too much about what.
Yeah, it looks like
shows
all
too
kids
much.
in that poster. It looks like
Yeah.
it's all kids.
Yeah,
God,
it
that
really is.
movie,
It's a
National
younger-
Treasure. It's such
The
a
second
movie
one,
of
they
its time.
kidnapped the president.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
I ramp it up so much.
Right.
That's why I couldn't go anywhere else, man.
Yeah, totally.
Can't
Anyway,
go anywhere else from that second one.
the one thing, we're jumping back to animation again, but the one big thing that I was kind of excited that they announced was that they are doing a Avatar: Last Airbender series movie going to the theaters in 2024.
Dang.
Which is going to be around Aang, which, if you've watched the animated show of Avatar: The Last Airbender, it's really good. I mean,
It's a show inspired by Tumblr posts from the early 2010s,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah, but this is all we've seen of it. Is I don't even know if it's an official piece of art there, but it is supposed to be their older selves, and it's going straight to the theaters, and it's going to be fun to see what they do with those characters. Several years on from where they took place in the story of their 4 seasons, and the season 1 was also worked on by Dave Filoni, who went off right at that point in time to go on and continue on Star Wars and the Clone Wars. So. That series has been out for 20 years. I only saw it about a year and a half ago for the first time in my life, and I thoroughly thought it was a solid series. If you have not checked it out, I actually haven't seen The Legend of Korra. I still
That's
need to
slander,
actually
Leon.
check. Yeah, I
Straight up
do.
slander.
Yeah,
It's
really.
it's
not
very
it's not as
it's
good?
polarizing. Let's say that.
Okay.
I know a
Alright.
lot of people out there who really like it,
Okay,
but yeah, and I know a lot of people like Max who
Right.
say it's slander.
right.
But
I mean, like,
Watch
it's
the
a great
original.
show. It's great.
Avatar, watch that if anything,
Right.
because it's
Yeah,
actually
absolutely. Yeah.
thanks to that anime became like very popular.
Yeah.
It's a good
Oh,
like
yeah.
segue for someone onto a gateway animation for anime.
Yeah. There you go. So let's jump into the elephant in the room thing. We're not really admittedly huge fans of the DC movieverse, but they did drop a couple of things, and they did drop
like
a couple
them.
of things.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself, Brent.
Okay, well, some of us, So anyway, they did drop a trailer for Shazam 2. Shazam 2, which is the Fury of the Gods. What did you guys think of the trailer?
I thought it looked just all right. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. Helen Mirren just shooting stuff with a laser with her staff thing just didn't sell me.
Was really. See, I actually didn't mind Helen Mirren as that character. I guess she's the Queen of the Gods or something like that. I don't know too much about who she's playing, but I think she's a great actress.
I like the lighthearted contrast of the Snyderverse and.
Fair enough.
Then the Snyderverse. I liked the first Shazam movie.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't perfect,
Yeah.
But I still enjoyed it.
It just sucks he never got to find his place in that universe yet. He's still just doing solo movies.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing that I actually enjoyed from that was that moment when all the kids just say Shazam at the same time, and just bolts of lightning hit them all at the same time, and they become their own superhero themselves.
It's pretty.
It was a cool scene. It was a cool scene in the trailer. Will I see this film? I probably will check it out. I saw the first one. I was like, but there's that. What was the other thing that they dropped news-wise? Actually, this
Black
is
Adam?
information.
And Blue Beetle.
Blue Beetle has finished filming, which, again, I really didn't know too much about the Blue Beetle until I saw him introduced into the Young Justice animated series. And then I was like, I really like the idea of this character. It depends on how they follow the story.
It's kind of like an Iron Man with a symbiote suit, It's like a symbiote Iron Man
But he's always fighting to stay controlled of his...
But then he's also got that whole relationship with, like, Ted Kord and all that.
Right.
It's like an onion.
It's
got
cool.
layers.
Yeah.
It's got layers, man. It's like a Shrek.
Yep. And as you did mention there, Max, the Black Adam movie, and I have to admit, it was pretty cool to see. Did you see the little sequence where
The Rock was just standing there?
Bronson, stands there, comes up. They've got the whole back screen, just electrical bolts going everywhere.
He's all and
he's standing there all serious, and there's all this fog that's sitting there, and it looks like he just floats out of this fog, and then the fog drifts away, and you see this stand. It's like they ran out of fog from the fog machine.
Yeah.
And you see the spotlight hitting the stand. It's like, that took away the whole thing. But
came in like David Copperfield.
Yeah, that's it. But, he looks good in the suit. The trailer number 2 that they dropped didn't do really anything more for me. I guess, it's... I'll probably go check it out, but I'm just like, I'm still not in with the DC universe in general. It's just,
God, it's crazy. All he has to do is say Shazam and he's dead.
Yeah,
right? Is that the whole point of Black Adam?
Is that
I mean, he's been killed that way before.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. He's what Shazam is. He's what Shazam was, but never unShazammed himself. For like thousands of years. Yeah. So if he does say Shazam, it would be like Dorian Gray staring into his painting, just be like, just like age and turn to powder.
Yeah. Someone had to rule Kahndaq.
Yeah, I meant there was two things that connected with Black Adam, and the question had been asked: will Shazam appear in the Black Adam movie? And the other question was: will Henry Cavill appear as Superman in the Black Adam movie? Well, everybody was hyping up for Henry Cavill to be there, and there was no show for Henry Cavill because
I don't know where those rumors came from. He's filming something right now.
One place was reporting it, and then everybody else.
That's it. Everybody jumps on it. It's like you have to be careful what kind of rumors that you follow, because people get so hyped up for something like that, and it doesn't happen. It's like, some people are going to get upset. I kind of just sat and laughed because it was
they were booing The Rock, which was funny. Pretty funny, just because I've never seen The Rock booed.
I was like, really? Because it's not Superman.
Oh, really?
Yeah, well, they asked him about like
Oh,
he's
yeah.
like depends who's playing Superman because he
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
gave like a non-answer. He
Oh,
was just
yes, yeah.
they asked him like who would win in the fight, and then people started booing and leaving, and I was just like, that's
Oh, really?
yeah, there's some videos of it.
That's San Diego for you. I mean, it's like whatever Comic-Con. There's those people.
Well, there's all those rumors about
That's
like
fans for you,
Henry
all right?
Cavill.
Yeah. People get mad and they get passionate and they're like, "Screw you."
Hey,
we're
Beck,
not here."
Gambit, how's it going? It's Dimes. uh, yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, yeah. Who would win a fight between Black Adam and?
Well, here's the thing: The Rock didn't actually answer the question correctly because
Yeah.
he says they're pretty even match. With in strength,
Yeah.
true, but Superman's one weakness is magic.
Right.
Black Adam has access to a lot of different kinds of magic.
Right.
Black Adam could kick his ass pretty good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can mess him up pretty decently.
Superman.
Yeah. Well, I'm taking that we haven't seen the full effects of Black Adam in the trailers either, from what we've seen. We've just seen him as like a Superman-based anti-hero. I don't even. I mean, he's not even an anti-hero. He's the villain, really.
It seems like
Yeah,
it's just a
he's like
Rock
Shazam's main
project.
villain, right?
Yeah.
He's like Sinestro,
yeah.
the Green Lantern.
Yeah.
But he became a lot bigger of a force. Now he's in the Justice League.
Yeah.
So he's kind of. I mean, that's only because The Rock's playing him. They're gonna end up. That was the plan.
You got to be the anti-hero. You're too big of a star to be the villain. So
No, The Rock has in his contract that he only plays heroes. So I'm
really?
guessing the end of the end of the movie is
Until he
gonna
wants
be.
to be a bad guy.
they're gonna have like a punch scale, just like him against Vin Diesel. Like, Shazam can only punch me this many
Fair
times.
enough.
Can't get knocked over.
Yeah.
Such a weird.
Anyway.
Yeah, the punch contract and with
Yeah, the punch
they had
contract
to
with
punch
Vin
each other the
Diesel.
exact same amount of times.
Yeah,
They couldn't get more hurt than each other.
Fair enough.
it's
Like,
weird.
What kind of fight is that?
Yeah. Well,
And knowing that and going back and watching the fight, it's so weird to see.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Dude,
man.
like no one ever wins. They just both fly off the car
Yeah.
that they're both standing on for whatever reason.
Yeah. Anyway, as much as San Diego Comic Con was pushing Black Adam and Shazam, they were not pushing The Flash or
Aquaman.
Aquaman, which
Or Batgirl.
Surprising.
or Batgirl. Yeah, actually, they didn't have anything to say about Batgirl.
Because that's probably tied into the other one with Batman and everything
Yeah.
else.
DC
It's
curse,
like,
man.
They can't talk about one. They
Yeah.
can't talk about everything.
Yeah.
DC's
So obviously,
cursed.
They're not talking about the Flash because of Ezra Miller, and they're not talking about
Aquaman because of Amber, yeah.
Amber, what's her name now?
Turd.
Turd. But I'm just like, it was kind of, it's sad that they had a choice to kind of pull her out and recast her. They did not when they should have. And as for Ezra Miller, well, we won't even go there. I'm not even going to go into all that. But I just feel like when they do reboot this whole universe that they should do it soon. The question is, are all these new characters they're introducing part of the new reboot, or are they kind of just a weird blend in between? That's where I'm a little confused.
I think none of this is gonna end up connected. I think they're gonna start as trying to be connected, and then it's all just gonna go its separate ways.
Possibly. I mean, it's really hard to tell. I mean, for me, a reboot is you scrap every single new character, every single new movie related from that moment of re-scrapping it and changing it. The question is, they've invested so much time and money into these other development characters.
They could do a
mess was happening.
They could do a soft reboot.
That's what they're doing.
Well, I mean, it feels like it. I mean,
That's what I tend to do
so
most
you're
of the time.
Yeah, they'll keep the heroes that are worth it, like
Probably like some interdimensional thing.
Yeah, I mean,
I think
guess-
there's gonna be Flashpoint in the new Flash.
Yeah,
movie. They're gonna
Flashpoint,
keep
and then they'll
Michael
reset.
Keaton, get rid of Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
So Michael Keaton will be the Batman in the Batgirl movie, which is already confirmed.
It's like how they do in the comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just gonna be retconning stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's
So
gonna
they-
be some weird retcons that.
But they also need this moment of tying those characters, whether it's in a crossing over story arc or something. They need to say, this is it. This is where you're going to be for a period of time, and continue that. And I don't know if they're going to do that right either as a link. I mean, it's a matter of, they could tell
They got a bad track record.
They need to kind of sit down and emphasize at the end of one of these stories in the upcoming couple of years, they need to say, this is it. Even at the end of Flashpoint, this is it. If they're going to have this new character of Black Adam, they're going to nail that character in that universe right there. You're going to see the new Batman. You're going to see everything. You're going to see what's her name as Wonder Woman?
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot. You're going to see. You just need to be able to say, this is it. This is what we are going to give you from here on in, and set that tone. And they need to do that sooner than later. That's
weird. They're in a really bad spot. So you look at like, just say Gal. If you look at like her Wonder Woman, she started in the Snyderverse and Batman vs Superman. Right. But by her new movie, it was kind of in a vague nothing verse. So it's just more of a standalone thing.
It was, but she as the character,
kind of like a Dragon Ball Z movie,
apart from
like
the fact,
it just takes place nowhere.
But
yeah, exactly. It just took place. It happened.
Right, but
it's like
she
within
as
a realm where.
Yeah, but she is the actor as that character, and the same with Aquaman with
Jason Momoa.
Jason Momoa. They are set in stone, it seems, for a while longer. And
I think it's fine. They can use those characters. They just need to like rebranch the whole Dawn of Justice or whatever. Like, give it a new name. Give it like Love and Thunder. Give it give it a name. Give it like whatever, a title, and then that will like take people's whatever. You know, that's all you need. All I need.
I feel
just do a revamp and it all makes sense.
A revamp, but a branding. They need to brand it and say, this is it, and from here on we will add new characters, but you're going to continue to get these as your key characters. You know, that's it.
They really need to state what their flagships are, because for a while it seemed like it was going to be the Flash, which was going to be their main flagship.
That was going to be.
Yeah.
How they've leaned into him now doesn't really make sense.
That's it. Yeah.
So now I guess they're going to try Aquaman, is what I'm guessing the internal thing is. But then they have to probably recut the movie.
We got nothing from Aquaman from Celebration either. So
DC
I think it's just too close to the trial. I think it's still kind of
well, it's too close to both those things. But those are the next two movies coming out from them.
Well, hopefully they will be casting actors who get less controversial problems, messy as that goes along. Anyway, that's
I think they hired Roman Polanski to do their next project.
Oh, nice. That was good.
Pretty much might as well, right?
I feel like we've
been
in the DC universe for long enough at this point, guys. I feel like I want to jump into Marvel.
Yeah, it is cursed. I was saying, that's what I've been saying. DC's cursed, man.
So there are two things.
CW stuff.
Well, that's still the better stuff if you consider it. But anyway, that's just me.
And that says a lot.
That does say a lot, yeah. So let's jump into the Marvel animation for a bit, guys. There was a lot of things that were dropped for Marvel animation. They had this cute little trailer for I Am Groot.
Yeah.
Which
I guess that's technically animation, if you got to say, huh? Because it's like, it's realistic Groot, but you don't see any other people around. So I guess it's animation.
No, it's definitely. I consider that animation. I mean, I think it looks cute. It's a series of short stories. I didn't realize that it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like a small movie or a actual series, but it's a series of shorts, like 5 or 6 short stories.
I think it's going to be like what they're doing with The Simpsons.
Yes, that's what I was just going to say. With the they're doing that with The Simpsons, where they're just releasing like a 3 to 4 minute, 5 minute short. Has nothing to do with anything. They're just like.
Are they going to be that short?
I don't know, but I'm saying within that. I mean, I would guess no more than 10 minutes.
Yeah, for sure.
I think those Simpsons are meant
Simpsons patterns because those are like really surprisingly short.
Yeah.
They're meant to like advertise for current trending thing.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that I'm going to assume that with Groot, they're not going to keep him a baby or a teenager for much longer. I get a feeling.
Oh, this is out of a universe.
Oh, it's out of universe.
Yeah, okay. I think they said it was universe 3.14.
Okay, all right, fair enough. So,
they know what universe it is.
That doesn't surprise me.
He gets left on a planet accidentally, and it's just
he's like the little prince on a planet. He's just his own little.
The other animation
shooting stars with his net.
Marvel's Zombies, which I think we already knew was coming along anyway to a certain degree, but it sounds like
moving on.
It's rated. It's rated. Shut up. It is rated. It is rated.
We're not
mature
talking about
adult.
X-Men yet. Why are you singing
Yeah,
that? We're talking
it
about zombies.
is.
I know. I'm trying to.
Derail
but,
the
but it is mature audiences, which is kind of interesting. So rated.
They
MA,
ended
so,
it with going to Wakanda, right? That was how they ended it with all the zombies showing up in Wakanda.
Oh yeah, because I think it's
Are
continuation.
there any
of that.
kids zombie shows that you can think
Yes,
of?
there is.
What?
I
What?
Zombie. I think it's I.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
No, there's a
There's-
Disney Channel show
The
called
Disney Channel.
Zombies.
That was
Zombies.
like
That's the
a.
one.
I
I
Yeah.
thought
see
that
that
was
on
a
Disney Plus all the
I
time.
Zombie
Yeah.
was
Young
a
adult.
CW show. Yeah. Yes. There's
iZombie.
anyway. What if original season season 2 coming in early 2023? So we're going to start seeing new What If episodes early next year, which I'm excited for. I did enjoy what they did with the other episodes. It seems like they were not afraid to use that as a tie-in to their feature film universe either. So it feels like it's all canon. Yeah, so there's that. And then, of course, this little one that dropped as well, which we knew about for a while, which was the
Yay.
X-Men.
There you go, Elijah.
Which
Sing the song.
Yeah, there you go. Fall of 2023. So we've got a little way to wait. I thought it was coming out sometime this year. Obviously not.
That's all right. Let them take the extra time on that animation story.
Yeah.
Did you see the concept art where they have Magneto leading the team?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah, this is one of the other pieces they dropped as a animation.
Look at
so
that.
they're keeping it very much like
All animated, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Bright colors.
very bright. Well, but
they look like cell anime. You can see like a
Yeah.
little drop shadow from
But
their
they
painting.
feel
Color
very
forms.
much like the original animated series,
Yeah.
don't they? Are they even more vibrant? than the
Except for
originals?
Storm's
I mean, it
mohawk.
might be
really?
just the color of that screen or whatever, but like, it's probably it's probably the same colors. I bet you anything.
Yeah.
They went and got the same
Has-
exact color and just using the same colors.
If they're saying
Whatever-
90s,
whatever their
they're
model
calling it
sheet
90s. They're calling it 97. There should be minimal character changes, you know?
Well,
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
also announced season 2 has already been greenlit for this animated series. So
Wow.
So awesome.
yeah,
They know that. They know people want that.
yeah. Well, the hype
They're
is
basing
real.
this on internet hype.
Yeah.
You know how well
that
that
means we're
goes.
gonna get like some of the later X-Men stuff now because they did a lot of the Claremont stuff, and now they're gonna do some of the Jim Lee and maybe the Liefeld stuff. They touched on like their X-Force stuff, but they could really do a lot of stuff that came out later.
Right.
It'd be nice
That'd
if
be
they stick to like actual, storylines in the comics, like really stick to it.
Yeah, that was what I loved about the show. Is they
Yeah.
had a lot of storylines that really
Yeah.
were just ripped from the pages.
Right.
Yeah. And jumping on other animation news, Spider-Man Freshman Year, which they announced for 2024. And they gave a bit of a description here. The teaser show
Synopsis.
will be the cast of characters showed up by the new Spider-Man suit design series, a fun reveal. Moderator Tompkins will be playing a character in the series. Let's see. Animated series follows Peter Parker on his way to becoming Spider-Man in the MCU. A journey unlike we've ever seen before. The style celebrates the characters, the early comic book roots, etc., etc. So, yeah.
So he's gonna have a
How is this
vest.
canon?
What's that?
It's gonna look like a Johnny Quest cartoon.
A little bit, yeah. I mean,
The guy does. Looks like Venture Brothers.
Yeah.
It's the style of animation, but I like the vibrance and the colors within.
That's
what they're doing,
cool.
too. It is cool.
That's
I just
awesome.
want to know how it's canon. It
That's
doesn't
cool.
make like how does he
Is
know
it- is
Norman
it-
Osborn?
Yeah.
Is it
But
gonna
they-
be canon?
What's that?
Is it gonna
I
be
have no
canon
idea.
to what?
I mean,
Is Osborn
they're
gonna
in
have the
future-
weird?
Well,
Is Osborn gonna have that
I
weird
question-
wavy hair?
I question whether or not some of this style of animation will end up in the Spider-Verse animated film too, because it feels like that they could actually connect. Because they're supposed to be jumping
Linking
through
this.
Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
But the one big thing they did announce was that that they will be having Charlie Cox
Daredevil.
playing Daredevil, voiced by Daredevil, which is kind of cool in this series. So
That's cool.
it's kind of it's interesting because they're getting the use out of Charlie Cox as Daredevil, and as Matt Murdock, and I'm like, where does Matt Murdock sit between Sony and Disney? Because they set up in Spider-Man No Way Home that he exists with Spider-Man or Peter Parker at that point, because you see him in that scene. And they also kind of announced, and we'll jump into this more, but the series, TV series based on Daredevil, which they dropped as well for Phase 5. So it seems like MCU have control over it, but the Sony or the animated verse is using his character and his voice and obviously his certain likeness to that too, which is kind of interesting. So I'm not too sure how that's going to play. Anyway, I thought there'd be thoughts. Okay.
Could you go back to those suits for a sec? I want to see those.
Yeah, there's some cool ones.
Yeah.
This one?
Oh, they have like the Stinger suit. They have the. It's like the almost like the Stark suit.
Okay.
They have the Future Foundation suit.
Is that like a Asgardian suit?
No, it's what's his name? Is it Hornet? Not Hornet. Is it Hornet?
What's the cape one? The one with the cape?
See you again.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, man.
Later, Gambit.
Hornet's the other one. Hornet's the purple guy.
Right.
Is he Stinger then?
I'm not too sure. Anyway.
Oh no.
I like the OG suit though. It looks cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like the his like janky suit or the before suit was that one with the
I like the
backpack?
Future Foundation
His
suit.
self-made suit. Yeah.
Which one's the Future Foundation?
The white one, the white and black one,
That's cool.
which implies the existence of the Fantastic Four in the universe already. Because that was a suit Reed Richards made him.
Oh yeah.
That's
When he
cool.
joined,
I'm
the
excited.
Fantastic Four.
I'm more excited about this now than I was before.
Yeah.
Would you see the villains they were showing off? They had some cool villains already.
I haven't seen the villains
Really?
sets.
Yeah, they had Doc Ock.
Oh, really?
Who was it? Scorpion. They had an image. I can't remember who else was in it.
I didn't see an image of that, so interesting.
So it didn't happen, Max.
No,
Brent's
it
trying to say.
I just say send me the image. I'll put it up the link.
Let me find it real quick.
Yeah. But then, yeah, I mean, out of animation, that's the big stuff they kind of dropped in animation-wise from the MCU or from Marvel. And then they jumped into the live-action stuff. And while Max is searching for that, they kind of
Oh man.
they said they announced that Wakanda
nice
Forever
lineup.
is the end of Phase 4. So we've just basically got She-Hulk that starts in the 2 weeks' time, and Wakanda Forever, which is at the end of the year, November 11th. Coming out. So yeah, Phase 4 ends. They showed us another trailer, guys, for She-Hulk, Attorney. Sorry,
Attorney.
Sorry,
Authority?
It's
Authority at law.
Attorney at law. What did you guys think of the new trailer?
Wait a minute. Can you go back to that? poster?
Stoked.
Oh, I found the villains.
I'm just trying to see if you get
Oh, yeah?
the phone number on there.
Text me the villains.
You could that number works and it has like a
1-800
message
She-Hulk.
on it. Yeah, it has a message like if you
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it references other like
877
superheroes.
She-Hulk.
She-Hulk. Oh, really? There's of course there would be.
It's like a message that you hear when you call that number.
Like when you call a attorney or
Oh,
whatever.
that's cool. Oh, that's fun.
You could see Los Angeles Civic Center in the background.
Right. I guess I'm just gonna.
Oh, so I guess it is in Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Showing the skyline, guys. I've been saying this.
I know, but I'm just saying that it is interesting that if it is all in Los Angeles,
Maybe Daredevil
it's like,
goes to LA.
Maybe.
They could be setting up the West Coast Avengers. It's like they're setting a lot of people in California right now, like Ant-Man, She-Hulk.
Yeah.
That's
Like there's
true.
more.
Yeah.
That makes sense too.
Shang-Chi. He's in
Shang-Chi,
San
yeah, he's
Shang-Chi,
San Francisco
yeah.
too.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
just to jump back briefly, these are the villains.
Oh, nice. Oh, they don't look so like,
Oh, cool.
traditional.
They're very, very
Scorpion
retro.
looks cool.
I just like Chameleon. That just makes me happy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway,
That's cool. I love the artwork, man. Reminds me of Venture Brothers. Or Johnny Quest, which they reference Johnny
Yeah,
Quest.
same sort of thing.
we did a reaction to the trailer for She-Hulk, which is worth checking out if you get the chance. Check it out. But I think
Yeah,
it's kind of cool.
I'm stoked. They reveal that she breaks the fourth wall.
They did,
That-
yeah.
yeah,
That
that's
took us a
awesome.
lot of surprise. That was like.
What was that thing? What was that thought you had, Brent, about her
The thought I
breaking the
had-
fourth wall?
I
Let's
wonder.
share that with everyone.
I'm curious.
Let's-
I'm
Saved by the
curious.
Bell.
Okay, no, I'm curious whether or not the idea that she broke the fourth wall the same way Daredevil breaks the fourth wall is that they've kind of become very sensitive to something going on in the multiverse, that something's going on, and they feel like they're actually connecting to somebody or something, and using the audience as the fourth wall break. Because you saw the surprise on Bruce Banner's face as to like, what the f are you looking at over there? And I don't know. I kind of felt like they could connect a fourth wall break as being a sensitive element of a superhero power that they might be able to actually kind of sense there's something watching them from the multiverse. I don't know.
Senses
It was
the
just a
watcher.
thought. It maybe. I don't know.
Quite a
Yeah, that
reach,
would
Brent.
make
It's a big reach.
She
It's
would
a
see
fun-
all.
Well, it makes more sense than just suddenly a
He's like a
random
watcher.
character decides to
Yeah.
go ooh and stare directly into the camera.
Well, then Max brought up a good point on
Yeah.
why it is in
Yes.
the comics and why she does
right.
it. What
Yes,
was that, Max?
correct. Yeah, fill
I
in,
think
Max.
her gimmick was always she would like call out the writers or the audience or the artist or
Okay.
Marvel in general, and
Right.
she would break the fourth wall, not like Deadpool does, where he'd be really kind
Turn to
of
the
pop
turn to the
culture.
camera. Yeah.
Yeah, she would more be
Name-
like, who the
name
hell's
dropping.
writing? She would turn around and be like, who the hell's writing this shit?
Okay.
Yeah, it's good stuff though.
And then
I
do
feel
fourth
like
wall
it's-
breaks on the
Okay.
covers, kind of, where they'd
Right.
have her in a really scandalous outfit with a big
Yeah.
slogan saying, "None of this is relevant to the issue."
That's good
Interesting.
stuff
So,
though. I feel like
so
it's about
that's
time
fun.
we get some of that type of tone
Yeah.
in the
Correct.
Marvel universe. You know, we're gonna have this probably like a comedy, Ally McBeal type of.
Yeah.
Did
Warrior.
Stan Lee write
That'd
any
be
of that
very
original
obvious,
She-Hulk
yeah.
stuff? Because that sounds kind of like what he would kind of like do.
What was that?
Did Stan Lee write any of that original whatever that?
Yeah, who decided
Banter,
that
who
she
created-
break
It
the
was a
fourth
little
wall?
later.
Oh,
That-
I think it was a little later. I don't think he. Let me look that
I
up.
know it was a little bit later, like she was a later character, but like I want, they were still the bullpen, and he was still calling shots at that point. I'm
Yeah.
wondering if like,
Yeah.
that was he called that shot or like,
Oh, he did.
Oh, really?
He's the credited creator of her.
Okay.
Okay.
That's cool. So I mean, Brent mentioned Killing Eve earlier because Sandra Oh,
Yeah.
but before that, Phoebe Waller-Bridge did a Fleabag, and there's a
Mhm.
good level. They managed to do the fourth wall breaking
Right.
in the style that they use it in
Yeah.
Fleabag, which is more just for us.
Right. For
Like,
for us, but did the other characters take note of it? Because this is the first.
Only
time
one
we've
character.
seen-
Well, I could say that, but it's a spoiler if you want to watch the show.
But-
Because
so-
like
so that's
there
why I'm
is a
going-
character who does sense when she's like, "What'd you do?"
Right.
She's like,
Yeah.
"What?" And it catches her off guard. Like he could
Right.
sense when she does it. So they
Yeah.
imply that something's happening within
Gotcha.
like everything. She's not fully breaking some, but some people could sense something about her.
Right.
But then that also just leads to a better connection with this person.
Yeah.
But
See-
stuff like that. But it reminds me of that.
Right.
And
Because
it's done
I
well in that
question-
show. And I think if they
Yeah.
use it the same way they use it in the show, it'd be great.
Yeah. I just questioned, was Bruce Banner was very much aware she was doing something really odd at
Yeah.
that very moment in
Like, who you
time.
talking? Like,
as
who you
as
talking
us,
to
the
type of thing.
audience, are going, "Whoa!" And it's like Bruce Banner's in the background going, "What the fuck are you looking at?" You know, it's and in a very weird way of like.
It's just
it's
an
like
interesting
they,
thing
They
when-
could
when you
play
introduce-
it something more. They could play it
When they introduce something like a person reacting to someone who's breaking the fourth wall, that does
Mm-hmm.
imply that there's like, okay, well, so what are they actually seeing? You know?
Yes, exactly, yeah.
Or like
And
when I
that's
watch
where I'm
Flight of the
going.
Conchords and like, do other people see them singing? You know, when like they
Right.
break into like a song
Right.
scene. You know what I'm talking about, Elijah? With like,
Yeah.
they
Exactly.
do a rap in a song,
Yeah.
and then like they cut back to reality, and then the guy's like, "You guys just dancing?"
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, no,
Yeah.
it's like, what does
Watching
it look like
Yeah.
to the
Yes,
rest of the
yes,
world?
yes.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
as far as a storytelling device, or
Mm.
I think it's they're staying true to form
Right.
by doing
Yeah.
this. But
Yeah,
your
I agree.
speculations are entertaining.
I don't know.
Yeah,
well,
speculations are really, that's a cool idea. I just think that they're
Yeah.
more bringing back the ideas
Right.
of like, you know,
Gotcha.
I think it was a good point that the Ally McBeal too. It's very Ally McBeal in the way they're setting up this whole.
It's also getting
that's
us
the genre
comfortable.
they're going for.
Yeah, it's also getting us comfortable to say that there are the characters like Deadpool that are possibly out there, and we are starting to see that as well. Because it's also saying we're gonna invite Deadpool back into this thing somewhere down the track.
His movie wasn't announced yet either.
No, nothing. Yeah,
could be a crazy.
But
what I want to add is that when we started the Marvel MCU, it was superheroes that lived in the real world.
Right.
And I think with She-Hulk in like this last trailer, it looks like it's totally flipped, where it's like this world we live in full of superheroes at this point.
Yes. Yeah.
And then so like, you think they'll become like explaining why there's been such a ramp up? Are they going to try to include something that happened that caused like now there's tons of weird superheroes all over the place? Maybe it could be that introduction of like Asgard living on Earth.
Well, that and the mutant gene, the whole, that may get introduced here. We don't know yet. They set us up in Ms. Marvel with the whole.
Well, there was also weirdly no X-Men stuff on this slate, so I think they're gonna probably not do mutant stuff for a while. I think they're probably just gonna have it be random magical stuff, considering Wong was there.
Oh, yeah. There was another character we saw there, Wong. He's getting around. I like it.
I love when Wong shows up. He's one of my favorite characters in the MCU.
Oh, he's so awesome.
I think everybody loves him.
Yeah.
Fortify your minds. Remember that scene?
Yes.
I love that. He's doing a total like invincible. Did you see the meme that someone did?
Well, the cool thing is, guys, we're going to get the chance to talk a lot about She-Hulk in the coming weeks, as it drops in about 2 weeks' time, and so I think we'll talk more about this as we get into it. So I think we'll move on a bit here. The other thing, keeping this in the phases, because we're ending Phase 4, the big thing that they showed at the end of the Marvel thing, of course, is the big thing that I thought we all had an emotional attachment to, was Wakanda Forever. I loved that trailer. I thought it was a wonderful trailer. I thought it was...
Hit me in the feels, man.
Yeah, totally hit all the right places.
And that transition of like Bob Marley to like Kendrick Lamar was
that was an interesting mix.
Yeah.
Who do we think the new Black Panther is? It's Shuri.
I don't know. I think it would
be,
but
I was just looking at the frame of the person, and I was like, it's definitely not what's his name, M'Baku, because he's much wider frame.
Yes.
Oh, he's known for his thickness.
Yeah, right. I was like, it's not M'Baku.
Yeah, it was a narrow...
You think Killmonger resurrection? That's.
I think that's kind of likely because just how popular Michael B. Jordan is.
Mm-hmm. You want that, like, that is like the next best person to Chadwick Boseman to have.
I feel like
what if you just fell
like
into
a
the
spiritual,
or just
as like a spiritual guide to Shuri or something, maybe even.
Yeah.
He fell into the ocean. What?
I get the feeling that
didn't he die in the ocean? Didn't he fall in the ocean when he died?
Who? Killmonger?
Yeah, wasn't that like what he said? Like,
no, he died on a cliff watching T'Challa brought him to watch the sunset. He died right in front of that mine. Remember?
Yeah.
I thought.
Is this the what if? Are you a watcher? Did you see another in universe? Max?
I don't even know. I mean, I'm just thinking of the fight in the water.
We're talking about 616, bro.
Anyway, with
that, sure, 616.
That's controversial.
They obviously they don't show us how T'Challa passes. I'm going to assume it's going to be of natural causes because it seems
they'll probably like bring some realism into it. Like,
I think it's a possibility.
It could be you could fit in a good narrative of like no matter how big of a hero you are, there's some things that
you can't fight. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And hit me in the feels, man. It makes me miss him
it feels like they're going to spend the first third of this movie kind of dealing with that situation, the grieving situation. I feel like the second third is going to be setting up the conflict, and the third part is going to be, electing the new Black Panther. Feels like it's where that is going. I don't think we're going to see a new Black Panther straight away in this series. I think it's
you gotta include all the Riri introduction too, like
it seems
Ironheart.
Like she already knew Shuri.
Right? I mean,
they were familiar. They dapped each other up. They like hugged each other.
Yes. Yeah.
yeah. There's got to be
school
some
together
type
or something.
Well, you got to consider at the end of Black Panther, Wakanda opened its doors to the world and introduced itself and started doing outreach programs
Right.
for like all the neighborhoods, like and Shuri was like running all that. So it could be a result of that type of stuff. I mean, we know the snap happened in between. There's so much that has happened since that moment. There's a whole other phase.
Yeah.
But there's got to be some type of connection there. There might be like a scene where they go to MIT or something and meet her or whatever. They have to like rescue her or something. Maybe she uncovers some type of weird vibranium thing in the ocean and then introduces Namor or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's
it's all speculation.
Namor. Namor. I always
Namor.
Namor.
Submariner.
Yeah, the Submariner.
I think his niece is in the movie too, Namora.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
The blue girl with the hair.
I like they're opening that door too to the,
I like the direction they're going style-wise for Namor. That he's like this ancient.
The look was cool.
Did he fly in the trailer? I couldn't notice. Did he fly at all?
I didn't notice.
Nah, I don't remember.
He's a normal Atlantean with a mutant power of flight.
Okay.
Yeah. He's on the original Marvel character. He's on the first issue of Marvel.
Yeah.
But he's
I've always
school character.
Growing up, he's always seen him as an asshole. Kind of.
He's a jerk.
Yeah.
Namor's always
kind
a
of a jerk. Yeah.
I've always seen him as like
Even
an
in the cartoons.
antagonist. Like I'm just like,
I hate often an antagonist.
Yeah.
He like tried to steal Sue Storm away from Reed Richards. Like
Yeah, he's got the hots for Sue. That's for sure.
Who doesn't? I mean, it's Sue Storm.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. And he ended up killing Johnny Storm in like Earth X. Remember that?
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I feel like who hasn't killed a version of Johnny Storm?
That's true. But then he gets cursed with Johnny Storm's powers, so he's all like half fireman. It's weird. They can pretty much combine the Human Torch and him.
And fire. Fire and water.
Earth X is weird, man. If you ever read that one, is that the one I'm
thinking
of?
It gets dark.
Yeah. But my only connection with the character is the '60s animated cartoons, and you're right.
But this is the first character in the MCU that is, or that in the MCU 616 that was actually an X-Men in the comics.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He's kind of OP, man. Right? He's pretty OP.
Well, I mean, he's OP in the sense of you could write him as he could have so many connections that he could control half that or most of the world.
Yeah.
But he's also OP in that he could also become tight with the mutants, and the mutants already run the other half of the world right now. So
Gotcha.
He can kind of do whatever he wants.
He's got a hall pass for all the sectors, man.
But he's also an Avenger right now. So he's really
part of the Illuminati, right? Wasn't at one point?
He was part of the Illuminati. Yeah, he's got at one point. So he's got cross sections everywhere.
I guess no matter how
much like how Reed Richards is intertwined and everything, Namor is too. Like he's
the foundation literally.
So is Namor ultimately a villain or ultimately a hero?
It's like weird. So he's neither ultimately because he just protects his own needs.
Okay, gotcha.
There was times where he was a hero fighting with the X-Men for the X-Men as an X-Men, and that was only with the what was it called, Utopia, when they had their first mutant island, and he was like helping them. But then once that fell, he's back on his own needs.
Right.
And he only really helped them for his own needs to rebuild Atlantis.
Yeah. Well, it seems like he's acting on his own needs here for whatever invasion purpose he's doing. We also have the American government kind of poking in there in that trailer because we see
colonizers.
What's his name?
Yeah, the American government would be the first people who's like, Wakanda, we're poking into it. We're going to see what we can find.
Yeah.
Or just trying to find their own version of like their own type of like vibranium, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Pretty much said whoever holds the vibranium holds the power.
Right.
But
absolutely.
Speculating that maybe Atlantis also has a huge chunk of vibranium that has like extended their civilization, so they're able to be closed off too. Like there needs to be
cool.
some.
They feel like they're the rightful owners of the vibranium.
Well, we did
Yeah,
see
there's
Martin-
like vibranium's so huge it kind of goes underwater too. So then they're mining from down here while Wakanda's mining from up here. I don't
And then
know.
they just
These
meet
are
in the middle of
speculations.
Right.
I'm trying to think of like how they could include Atlantis and still have it closed off because Wakanda was introduced
find
pretty
out.
late in the
Yeah.
MCU and
Yeah.
it's very established. So the only way
Yeah.
you could really do that is if it's a closed society. And
Yeah.
how
Well,
you could be
obviously,
a closed
Atlantis
society
is
if you have access to vibranium.
Yeah, yeah, and Atlantis is obviously a closed society too, so it's like that's gonna be fun.
And
to
so I'm
see.
just
I
trying
mean,
to see like how
also,
they choose to do this.
Yeah, we see Martin Freeman pop up as well as I forgot his character's name.
Everett Ross.
Everett Ross, that's it. And I mean, I'm curious to know where he comes into the play with.
He's
all
going to be
this.
the new Coulson of Phase 4.
Yeah, it feels like it because it's like he's been known to kind of go against the government and the government wishes. So I'm enjoying that character. So it'll be fun to see how that goes. Anyway, let's move on from Black Panther because the next thing they dropped was the whole Phase 5. Which is just insane that the next.
I can't believe they're doing a
I
Daredevil
know.
show again.
That is crazy. Yeah,
With
I mean,
18 episodes.
yeah,
It's crazy.
18
Yeah, it's like 2
episodes.
seasons.
Yeah, and it's definitely further towards.
It's
the
like a regular
2024 time period.
half-hour comedy.
Yeah.
You know?
But I mean, looking at this, we've got Quantum Mania, which is coming up first, the first feature film. Secret Invasion, which is TV series, right? So, we
got like the
obviously got
scrolls, right?
Yeah,
Is that
the
is that
Skrulls.
Yes, yeah, it to be a whole scroll invasion.
Like,
You're not gonna
Yeah.
know who's a scroll, who's a human.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Quantum
I'm trying to
Mania is
figure out-
probably gonna introduce Kang as
Yep.
probably,
Yeah.
right?
That's what it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Kang and MODOK is what
Yeah.
they revealed
Oh
yesterday.
yeah, MODOK's been
Yeah,
cast, right?
Well, hang on a
That's
second.
cool.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. Mo-
Yeah,
MODOK,
MODOK.
Well,
has
it
been
is called
confirmed.
Quantum Mania, so it should, right?
Yeah.
Or they're just gonna
Also,
do like Multiverse of Madness.
so
It's just like
Bill
passing
Murray's
through.
going to be appearing in this too, apparently.
Yeah,
that's right.
Talking about
Yeah.
that a long time ago.
Which is cool.
Dang. Since you got Paul Rudd as the cast, you should get all comedians.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I'm curious to see where this movie goes. They showed us some poster art. Related
It's got
to the movie.
Cassie Lang's
Yeah.
costume.
Yes, yeah. The
And that's
poster's
that's
got,
official
Kang
Kane
up there.
concept art right there, dude.
Yeah,
That's what
I
he's gonna
know.
look like. He
That's
looks
cool.
like
Yeah.
he's gonna be blue.
He's gonna be blue. He's gonna
He's
have
gonna be a
the blues and armor over him.
oh, then he's like purple color. Oh, wait, what?
He's a human. The blue is an
Why does he
armor.
look a different? Oh, really? It's just like a flesh armor on him.
right.
Yeah, it's like
It'd
not
be-
nano armor.
something
can't
tells me
remember.
we're gonna see-
Quantum armor.
So we're going to
But-
see Kang appear in different forms throughout the next 2 years, I'm guessing. But I'm still curious as to which one's going to be the big bad, or whether they all are the big bad at that point.
He's got yeah. They'll probably just introduce him like. I mean, he's already been introduced. We got him big
And
time. We
command
got
your
some
real name, we're going to call you Kang the Conqueror, just for the hell of it. There you go.
I think we're
hope
gonna
you're
get.
happy. Kang the Conqueror is Aquaman. All right.
I think
so-
we're gonna get a bunch of different versions of Kang. I think we're gonna
Yeah.
get,
we
or
already
just
have.
Richards in general. Whether it's like Iron Lad, whether we get Big Kang, whether we get another Immortus, whether we get Rama Tut from in the past.
Right.
And this,
Yeah, who knows where
the
the
character that when they say
this
Kang
multiverse.
Dynasty,
Yeah.
I know,
And,
right?
Yeah.
it would,
and then-
those would be the. I think they already know it's Kang Dynasty, right? Wasn't that one of them?
yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, that's,
that's
phase-
later on. Yeah, 6.
next
Yeah.
phase.
Yeah, but along with that, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which we saw a little bit more going on there. I like the new logo for Guardians.
It's gonna wrap up the Guardians.
It's going to wrap up the
Yeah.
Guardians according to James Gunn. Apparently, the trailer they showed. This is comments from the trailer. The comic book team uniforms, Buff Groot.
I'm guessing
Rocket
it means the
Origins.
Annihilation uniforms.
Gamora leads Ravagers. Nebula might be opening up a bar, which is interesting. And the story ends with the characters. Doesn't mean that they all die, is what James Gunn says. So,
And the music
he's-
on top of the trailer is the Flaming Lips. Do you realize?
Okay.
Thank you. The Flaming
Oh,
Lips.
for real?
Yep.
Really?
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. That's cool.
That's awesome.
Oh, he's kind of moving the needle on where the music's going on this movie. Then
Yeah, I know. If that's the main title, I mean,
So-
hopefully.
That's so
Star Wars
good.
got
I
some
didn't
more
know that.
tunes.
That's so cool.
So yeah, the
On
High
a Zune.
Evolutionary. Who is this character, Max? What's he all about?
Oh, the High Evolutionary. He's super hard to explain.
Okay.
I honestly think the movie's gonna change so much about him. I think they're gonna change so much about him and Adam Warlock that it's just
Okay.
like I don't see how they could do Adam Warlock the same way without the Soul Stone. So
Right. Okay.
I think it's just gonna be another.
Another version. Right.
Yeah.
What was the other thing that? Yeah. So as James had said, it's going to be the end of the Guardians. Also, they're introducing or reintroducing, bringing back Cosmo, and they're using what's the name there?
Maria Bakalova.
Bakalova, yeah, as
The
the voice of Cosmo, which is kind of interesting.
Cosmo's
She was
a girl.
so good in Borat.
Yeah, I haven't seen Borat, but
It was the
not-
second one. It was she's so good in it.
It's pretty. Yeah, it's great.
Right. And then
She was full commitment.
Yeah, totally
She's gonna
great
kill
to
it.
work with him. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. We also get to see origins of Rocket's story, and I think I've seen like a 2 or 4 second clip online from that trailer, and they show baby Rocket like as a child,
Yeah.
as an infant kind of thing, which is kind of like gonna be cool. And yeah, so what's the deal with this guy? This is
The High Evolutionary.
the High Evolutionary.
I think they're gonna CGI his face over it.
Okay, all right.
He looks like RoboCop. Anyone say
Yeah,
that?
I know. And that
Yeah,
thing, that looks like
RoboCop, Murphy.
RoboCop.
Well, they showed
He's
this
usually
on-
all
He takes
like,
the helmet off.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
Skin
he's
stretched
got like a
over.
mohawk.
Yeah, it's a little weird and a little kind of bizarre. I guess they're just showing. the actor's face.
Yeah, I'll show you what he looks like.
I like
it's
keep the Marvel
No, I
Cosmos
haven't.
weird, man. I'm all about that. I
Yeah.
love how
like,
wacky it gets.
yeah.
Okay.
So they're definitely gonna CGI his face.
Right. Gotcha. Okay. Well, either way, I mean, they showed
Maybe.
off the costume of this character and the actor and everything. They walked him around and paraded him around there. Yeah.
I like how we slowly like just accepted like the wackiness of like the design of things. How
Yeah.
when you did Yondu, it's like, all right, don't give him a crazy mohawk. It's not the
Yeah.
mohawk.
Yeah.
Like I keep it kind of low, but then they're just like, no, give him the real one on the second one.
Yeah.
It looks sick. Like,
Yeah.
it should have been that the whole time. It's they
Yeah.
shouldn't be so afraid,
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
go make it look like the comic, and it's not
Yeah.
gonna hurt anyone. And I think
It's
we're
weird because
branching away from
they
that.
can't really use his comic, like the High Evolutionary's comic book origins because he's kind of closely tied with Mr. Sinister.
I don't
And
know who that
they've,
is.
I mean, this is the MCU. They've been taking they're known to take
Yeah,
their
yeah,
liberties
yeah.
with the
Right.
source
I know.
material.
But it's like, that was like his whole origin was about like genetics.
I
and
mean,
DNA.
Wanda's whole thing is she's a mutant.
Yeah, I got retcon too. Yeah,
They retcon everything,
now
man.
she's a mutate.
So
Yeah.
other areas jumping to Loki season 2, which we knew was coming. Obviously, they didn't show us anything.
We could get more
which they
Kang.
Still don't have
We
much on.
get big Kang time in
Right.
Loki.
Yeah. Miss Marvels, the Marvels, I should say, which of course we know is going to greatly tie into Miss Marvel and
WandaVision.
Monica.
Your WandaVision.
Rambo
Yeah.
from
which is
WandaVision.
cool, which is cool. I'm looking forward to that. I seriously am. Blade,
Good
which we
t-shirt.
still don't know too much about what they're going to be doing with that particular character, but I assume.
I did see Wesley Snipes wants to be in it.
I would hope they'd do
course.
something as a cameo, or not as a cameo, but something.
I know.
I'd be happy to see that.
They should have
haven't
Wesley
seen-
Snipes dressed as the 70s Blade from the comics, where he's got just like the
Yeah,
crazy
yeah.
afro hair. He's got the duster that's like he got like
It's
a
fun.
vibrant duster. Like I think it was like a
I'd-
green duster, green
I'd be
yellow.
Yeah,
fine
make him
for-
make him British.
Yeah, no, I'd be fine. I'd be down. to
Blade
see-
shows up in the first season finale of What We Do in the
Yeah.
Shadows. Oh, spoilers, guys! If you watch that
Hey,
show,
man.
I just
Hey,
saw
man.
that. I was
How
just
you
watching
did
that.
you see that?
He's like, my internet's not bad.
He's on Zoom. It has Blade.
Yeah, he's mad. He's mad because they're like, it's not my internet, it's you guys. It's your internet. My internet's great.
Yeah, it's you guys in character.
was,
I'll say.
funny.
Have you seen that show, Brent?
Which
It's
one?
Taika Waititi's based on his movie What We Do in the Shadows, the show.
Oh, I haven't seen it. No, I haven't. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I've not seen that.
Sorry, that's spoilers. Light spoilers.
We get a title for Agatha Covert of Chaos, which Coven
Coven of Chaos.
Coven of Chaos.
You get those
thank you.
marbles out of your mouth, Brent.
Yeah, I know. Go figure.
All day.
Yeah. I have that a lot. And then Ironheart, which you suggested, and that we actually will be seeing an introduction in. It was Ironheart that you said that we see an introduction to in
Black Panther. Yeah, we see her making the Iron Heart.
She's in she cuts out a heart-shaped piece of iron. I think if you're gonna get tutelage from anyone in the MCU, it would be Shuri. If you're gonna be a Iron Man, if you're gonna be a Iron Man, you know what I mean, Brent? What do you think about that, Brent? What do you think about what I just said?
He's looking at something else.
You have any thoughts?
I am.
You have any extra thoughts that aren't scripted? Yeah.
Where does Thunderbolts come in all this?
At the end.
Very end. You screenshot too soon. You're. It's not done when you got that on your screenshot. It's not a finished.
No. Maybe that's the beginning of the. Okay, all right, gotcha. Yeah. So
it's the end of. It's the last. Little space at the end over there. That's where Thunderbolts lands.
Are you sure
after
about
Captain
that?
America? Yeah.
I think Thunderbolts is the beginning of Phase 6. As TV shows, right? Thunderbolts is going to be a TV show or a movie, do we think? Or do we know?
Movie.
I think it's going to...
It's like the Bad Avengers. It's like the...
Wait, bring that up again?
That's true. Yeah. It's going to be like in replacement of the Avengers movie. It's going to be the...
really?
It's the Dark Avengers, basically. It's like... That's
so
what that's going to be.
It's
I miss Dark Avengers.
It's Elaine's group of whatever she's collecting. That's what that show is.
It's gonna be like, I'm guessing, Yelena Crossbones if he's still somehow
all the bad guys that are still out there.
Yeah. Gotcha.
It's got Bucky's.
That's Thunderbolts, huh?
Bucky's gonna be in
Bucky
it.
End up on it. I think Bucky is not unlikely.
It'll be what's his name? The Captain.
I think Zemo's gonna lead it.
Maria De Fontaine or V. For
sure. What was her name?
What's her name? Julia
Madam Hydra.
And that redhead lady that so he's going to come back.
Here's something before we jump.
Which one, Brent? Which one?
That redhead lady that Brent said that was going to come back, and which I don't even remember.
Oh, the agent lady.
Oh yes.
She have red hair.
Yeah.
She's gonna be leading the Thunderbolts. She's gonna be like top bill leading them.
We're basically talking about Val's group. So Anchorman brings up something, guys.
Val.
Here. This is actually kind of what I wanted to kind of go on. So we've been kind of ditching a little bit on this past Phase 4. It hasn't been terribly amazing. There's been ups and downs in the movieverse. The TV shows have been good and they're not ending as well. Stuff like that. Are we more hyped for Phase 5 at this point?
I'm more hyped for Phase 6. I want to see Fantastic Four and X-Men.
Yeah. But we're going to need Phase 5.
That's coming soon enough. I mean, this Phase 5 is going to so quick within 2 or 3 years. By the time we're ready for Fantastic Four, it's going to be
that's it.
This is like saying, okay, this is taking everything that they couldn't cram in during 2000 and 2020 in the last couple of years. I think it's kind of a smasher schedule because they're trying to put this all out, so they can get to this other,
Oh,
Avengers.
you meant Phase 4.
Phase 4.
What's that? Oh, wrong one. Yeah.
Anchorman.
Yeah,
he's asking
sorry, I'm trying.
So this current phase that we're
they want to push to this Phase 5 so they can get to Phase 6.
Right.
See, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff in Phase 4. It's good, but you're following Infinity Saga.
Right.
And the peak of this last.
You need a breather. You need a breather in between all that crap.
Well, that's what this is. That's what this phase is. It's introducing.
So
what, Brent?
I just want to thank Anthony for sending this to me because this is the most updated.
That's what I was telling you, man.
I know you were saying. I know you said that.
You didn't believe me. You were like,
I didn't believe you. I just
it's
didn't
in
have
the
it.
next phase.
I just didn't have it. No. I just didn't have it, so I wasn't sure. But thank you to Anthony for sending this.
Oh, now Anthony gets the thanks.
Well, yes.
I'm just joking.
But
I'm helping Jason.
Thunderbolts in the last phase. Anyway, and that's at the end of 2024. So.
I was in the middle. What was I saying?
I don't know.
Brent, what was I saying?
Phase 6.
Before you interrupted me, what was I saying?
I don't know.
I was like in the middle of talking about
Wait,
something. I was answering Anchorman. I was just.
Oh, really? Okay.
Brent doesn't
Phase
hear
6.
anything while he's
Well, no,
streaming.
because I'm looking at chat. I'm
He has
searching
tunnel
for a
vision
thing,
for
I'm
sure.
trying to, well, I
He has
have to,
major
because
tunnel vision.
Yeah, you just have to take one thing at a time. Since when am I ever going to listen to Jason?
No, never.
There you
That's
go.
why you're still where you're at, man.
That's why you still haven't
listen
watched
to
so many
me.
things.
Snap.
That's why you still haven't watched the.
Yeah. Sorry, you were answering Anchorman's question. Phase
No,
5.
never mind. Let's move on.
It's gone? Okay.
I forgot it. I was in the middle of saying it, and then you stopped, and then but you showed the updated one. No, but I was saying about he was asking what we thought about phase 4.
Yeah, phase 5. 4 or phase 5? Phase 4.
4.
Yeah, phase 4.
4.
Jesus
Yes.
Christ.
And are we excited for phase 5? I'm excited for phase 5.
No, he's asking, do you guys love phase 4?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't
So
think it
it
had.
has-
I think both this phase and next phase
Right.
don't have exactly the heroes I'm looking for and what I
Right.
want. I love Marvel. I love Spider-Man and Doctor Strange, and Shang-Chi was great, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Kind of looking for something. I was
It's just-
hoping for
but-
more.
Season 4 just has the unfortunate case of being after Endgame.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
It has
You're
to
gonna
restart
follow
and
that
reboot, and yeah, it's
Yeah,
it is
you're
very
gonna
tough.
have this cooldown
Yeah.
moment, but then
Yeah.
it's not gonna hit as hard as that last one.
Right.
And
No, totally.
And
No,
that's
I
why it's
agree.
been kind of like
I
the
agree.
shadow of Endgame kind of cast a
Yeah.
shadow on
Yeah.
on everything
Yeah.
that Phase 4 is. And
It's the
Phase
slow
4
burn
still-
to the new phase. Yeah.
yeah, Phase 4 still they introduced tons of stuff to us, you know?
Do you
But-
think
and,
like after all this Kang Dynasty stuff, they're gonna do all the X-Men stuff? Or they're gonna do a mutant saga next?
Possibly.
Well, they probably have to
Then-
introduce like a multiverse for X-Men or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't know.
Like,
Lavelle puts
because,
out
like,
here
there's
that,
no telling
he's
what will be
worried-
There's no telling what will be revealed during this next phase, or like, you know,
Right.
that they'll be able to tell us what they're actually releasing in Phase 6, other than those.
Yeah.
three
And those
movies.
new Avengers movies could be really X-Men movies. They
Yeah.
could
Yeah.
X-Men could be Avengers.
They're still pretty
Yeah, I mean,
vague.
maybe
just
they're
straight
still not using
Avenger.
X-Men. They
Right.
got that cartoon coming. They got to like work things in. But like,
Yeah.
I could see X-Men or mutants being in the Avengers.
Yeah.
Like an uncanny Avengers group, like
Yes.
Rogue and
Yeah,
Havoc
yeah.
and all them.
Yeah.
See,
I think they're
Lavelle
gonna
puts
need
out here-
something to match up to Endgame.
Yeah. Well, this is the thing. Loki says here that Black Loki, he's worried that the MCU will be overcrowded when the X-Men arrive. See, I think
The X-Men
And
take
actually,
the
you know
war
what?
fast.
I would love-
Actually, wait a
Yeah,
minute. Maybe
yeah.
maybe the
Is
mutants.
that what we're
are-
leading to? An overcrowded
Maybe
world?
the mutants show up in Captain America: New World Order, because this in that title, the New World Order, I think could mix in with X-Men
Yeah.
and mutants.
possibly.
That would be very interesting,
Yeah.
but Sam doesn't have that good of a connection with them. Like,
Yeah.
But they could, you know, it's like
yeah,
you,
no, I see what you mean. It's a really
they
good
can
idea.
gain, they can get
NWO is the truth and nothing
I'm
but
just
the
going
truth.
off
You
the
know,
title, but I could see that if
I'm-
you need to introduce them beforehand, that maybe that's the movie.
Any
I'm
wrestling
going off,
fans in here?
I'm going off. I'm going off that image of the end of Endgame when you've got all the portals and you've got everybody throughout the throughout the galaxy, I should say, popping up to fight Thanos. That was like the most powerful, beautiful moment you could come across. Just imagine if there were characters like versions of Xavier popping through, like all versions of Xavier popping through from the multiverse.
Yeah.
to
That would be
fight
the
the big
scariest
bad.
thing.
How-
Xavier
how-
is a jerk.
But I'm just saying,
Yeah.
it's like just in the idea of you see a Patrick
Would not want a
Stewart
bunch of
version,
him.
you see a what's his
Controversial
name?
man.
You see all these other versions pop through. I think that would be kind of cool, even if it's only for a brief moment.
But is
I
that
would
what we
be
want?
fine.
Is that what we're leading to? Another end game? Like that's kind of.
I think so. I think the
gotta-
Kang
feels like they
Dynasty
have to
is going to
build
be a
up.
bunch of
They're gonna
Kangs
keep-
versus
yeah.
Bunch of Kangs
multiverse
versus
heroes.
multiverse
Yeah,
heroes. Yeah.
But it can't
Which
be.
means
a
you
And
can
then
have
they're
the
going to be
same-
Secret Wars. They already announced
Yeah.
Secret Wars right after
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
if they don't do Doom,
can-
then they're doing like a God Emperor Kang or something like
you could
that.
have multiple Thors. You could have multiple Captain Americas. You could have multiple everything from multiple universes. However, their universe goes with their version of that character. You could see multiple Tony Starks. Even you could have.
Yeah, we
I would
understand
love
how
it, right.
we understand how multiverses work, Brent.
But I'm saying it would be cool to see that as a showdown for the next phase, and it feels like we might be going in that direction.
I know it would be
Look,
pretty
you-
impossible, but years ago, Marvel and DC collaborated on these characters, the amalgam characters, And that would be a
That's
great.
I wonder if that's where it's going on the following.
It would be
phase.
too hard.
Oh
It would be
my God.
they did that and they closed the book to never do it again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, yeah,
No, I agree.
yeah. But
Well,
by the time like the finale of Phase 6 comes around, is that what we're still gonna want? Like, we bring something new to it, you know. Don't just do another end game. You got to.
Yeah.
You can't
I mean,
just
I think
keep
Secret
walking
Wars is
through
gonna end up
portals
being
again.
a lot. I think Secret Wars is gonna be a lot more like Endgame than people realize. Not in terms of the time heist or anything like that, or in terms of plot, but in terms of the
the amount of
finale.
characters, the amount of people in
Could
it.
be like how
Yeah.
the actual Civil War was in the comic, where just an interdimensional like fight between all the superheroes or something like that, you know?
Well,
I think it should be something like that.
Phase 5 is going to end somewhere in 2024 because it seems like Phase 6 will pick up in November of 2024. It still wouldn't surprise me if that got pushed to 2025.
Bad election year,
but it's
good
hard to
movie
tell.
year.
Yeah, but because of that,
That's what New World Order is on my election year.
I know. That's the first thing I thought of. The first thing.
Yeah,
I
it's
thought
crazy.
Of was,
Right? Yeah.
I will say that
Kang
both
Dynasty.
Avengers movies are named after existing comic book runs.
Yes.
Right.
So,
Do
which
they
I
tie
fully
in?
expected them to change that before release.
Well,
You think?
what
Like
is
Secret
They did that
Avengers?
last time with Infinity Wars Part 1 and 2. They changed it to Endgame so people wouldn't compare the big finale to the comic book.
right? Well,
But, I mean, if it's Secret Wars was a pretty recent book. So, I mean, I guess they're trying to ride that hype.
then
Still.
what's the book of the Kang Dynasty then? What's that all about?
Oh, imagine a bunch of Kangs fighting everyone.
Okay, all right. So it is pretty much as bad as it sounds. Like bad in
The other
a
name
good
of it
way.
The
Bad in
other
a good
name
way.
of it was the Kang War.
Yeah.
Well,
I was called it the Kang War for a while.
Yeah.
Let's hope the Kang Dynasty lasts longer than the Age of Ultron, which was just
Well,
more
both
like,
last the same amount of time. One movie.
well, which was more of just like a couple days of Ultron.
That's true. Yeah, the Age of Ultron, aka 3 days of one country
3 days
being
of
like,
Ultron.
Ultron's attacking me.
Yeah.
So let's see, Kang Dynasty is just going to be one generation.
No, I think he's gonna probably bring in his either a
Ultron cells.
son or
Others,
his
yeah.
relatives or
Okay.
different other versions of Kang or multiverse
Right.
Kangs or other
Right.
timeline Kangs. There's so many Kangs he could bring in.
This makes me want to watch Loki and Black Panther again after seeing these trailers this weekend.
Yeah.
I also think they could bring in other versions of characters that we have seen, like bring back Jane Foster in a different way.
Yeah.
They could bring back Thor. They could have different Chris Hemsworth. That's an unworthy Thor.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, guys, this is our lineup for the next couple of years.
Look at that.
it
That's
seems,
crazy.
Of the feet, Well, this is not all of it, but it's just like it's crazy.
The Black Loki, the Inhumans are the Star Wars Christmas special of the MCU.
Guys, there was one thing missing from
Right,
this.
Brent?
What's that?
Jane Foster hater. I'm not a Jane Foster hater.
No, I said
There was one thing
the
missing.
Oh yeah, Armor Wars.
There was missing
yeah.
though. So it's missing. I wonder if they're just going to drop it because it's
No, the writer already. Sir Lester, the writer, said it's happening. He says if it's canceled, you'll be the first to know. But
okay.
Kevin
So-
Feige also said today that there's 8 unannounced projects that they're going to announce
Well-
at D23.
Oh, gosh, okay.
So all right, that's
A bunch of other stuff
very
that's not
interesting.
in there.
All right.
some stuff
So-
in between. Some
I'm
mortar
guessing
for the bricks.
Deadpool, maybe some
Mutants,
X-Men
the
mutant
mutant
stuff.
yeah.
Sorry, hold on.
When's D23?
Yeah.
Is that like next week?
Oh, I have no idea.
Oh yeah, that's coming up soon, isn't it? But yeah, we've got. Phase 6. Yeah,
They should
only
bring
showed
back
us- they only showed
Inhumans
us
from the
3.
multiverse and just have like comic accurate, pretty dope Inhumans and just leave them there.
Yeah.
Just leave
Yeah.
them stranded in the 616.
This is where I go that Marvel are dropping their stuff wonderfully. They are dropping, they're showing, they are telling, they are getting us hyped up, and unfortunately Lucasfilm are not doing the same kind of thing. I wish Star Wars was doing the same build up.
They had Star Wars Celebration, man.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I
think
know,
it
but-
might
but-
be good that they're not doing this. You remember when
Yeah.
the Monster Universe revealed their slate of movies?
Right.
Yeah,
And
but
then-
premature, man.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But even still, it's like it doesn't have to be as big as this, but it's still like, you know, there are elements to this that are getting the audience hyped, and people were obviously getting hyped. You've seen some behind the scenes footage of inside the, you know, inside the Marvel panel, and it just seemed to be like, yeah, it is great. We used to have that from Star Wars. It's not as much anymore, which is, anyway.
Not even a celebration. Did y'all forget about celebration already?
They didn't have a slate though. They just had an announcement.
We did get a slate. We had announcements, and there was stuff. It was handled differently.
I think Marvel changed the game by having these slates like this, and it makes everyone kind of forced to try and keep up. Because once
this never happened. No one ever did anything like this before Marvel started releasing their timeline. There hasn't. There's not enough.
Yeah. You remember the magazines you used to get with all the TV information, the TV guide?
TV guide, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a TV guide of movies for the next few years.
Yeah, pretty much. And that Marvel's the only person to ever do that. And
or just it's like Warner Brothers showing every movie they have coming out for the next year and a half, like every project.
So
Marvel started that whole mess. Because of their MCU, they've established enough that would be like promising movies, or like the Universal's Dark Universe.
Yeah, the Monsters universe. Yeah,
they tried. It's so sad.
They tried, and they got one movie out, and then they had like Guillermo del Toro's Bride of Frankenstein, and that didn't get off the ground. They had like werewolf movies that didn't get off the ground.
Yeah.
Well, there's that whole like Dr. Jekyll, like Russell Crowe's Dr. Jekyll has like a lab filled with like all these references to.
Right.
It's where like they tried to do it and it failed. Everyone was trying to jump on that start a new franchise
universe, their own universe.
Expanded.
They all thought it was
expanded universe. Yeah, because like, well, if Marvel could do, you could do it with superheroes. Let's do it with the monsters.
Well,
guys.
They watched the Marvel kind of fumbling their way through it to start kind of just figuring their way
monsters,
out. Like,
yeah. And then they also had the fact that these monsters were like the birth of cinema, you know?
And they didn't have to pay anyone any rights for them. They owned them outright. They could do whatever
original,
they wanted.
Yeah, they were the original expanded universe too in the first place.
But the difference,
the werewolf and the mummy.
But the difference is that
Frankenstein, Bride of Frankenstein,
like current following. These are shows movies that don't have a current following as much.
Yeah, they were tone deaf. I mean, but you got to argue that like no one knew the hell like. Iron Man was still like not a household name when the first movie came out.
No, but they also never planned this entire structure back when they made the film.
Yeah, that's why I think.
And now they're trying to.
And now they've got the liberty of doing that. They've got the liberty and the power.
But that's what I'm saying with that. Universal Dark tried to do it, and they said, "Well, if they did
what would that universe have looked like?" I really wonder. Like, would it just be Tom Cruise running and all their like big movies?
Everyone was cast. You had Johnny Depp as the Invisible Man. And Javier Bardem was going to be like Frankenstein.
They had like
people cast. Yeah, they had like big hitters for these.
Yeah, they had the Guillermo del Toro attached. They had like some huge people, and then the Mummy failed.
I think that's what did it. It just wasn't good. There was a difference between that and Iron Man. You know?
That was the thing, but I don't think they should have canceled all the other movies because I think Guillermo del Toro's movie would have been a lot better than some Tom Cruise action.
They started with the wrong movie.
If they were based
to start with.
Well, the thing is, like Iron Man didn't make Avengers level amount of money. If you were to release a Marvel movie like and it made as much as Iron Man did, they would be like, oh yeah, scrap it, dude. It didn't make billions this time, you know. They didn't have the patience for it, and they didn't, you know, Iron Man. Happened.
It was still a good movie, and they saw that, this can obviously open something up. I mean,
if Mummy was a little better, it probably would have done better.
Right.
You know.
Anyway, guys, we've been going for like 2 hours and 15 minutes now, so I think we'll end up this.
Punisher's in the MCU, Anchorman.
Oh yeah. But guys, everybody out there in chat, thank you so much for joining us. And guys, thank you so much for sticking around this long as well, for sitting through stuff that we enjoy talking about. There was a lot to talk about, a lot to cover. I'm sure over the coming weeks we will be kind of breaking down some other thoughts and stuff for this series. But I think this coming week, we're probably going to do some reaction videos to Industrial Light and Magic because it's something that behind the scenes of filmmaking.
Does that start on Tuesday?
That starts, I believe, Tuesday, so probably sometime Wednesday we might do we may not
Try
see
Tuesday, maybe Tuesday in the morning or like days. We're not like staying up till midnight.
Oh no.
Yeah, let's do it like Tuesday morning.
Yeah. Wednesday morning, actually, technically, because Tuesday's the night it comes out.
Oh, right.
Okay.
Yeah. But
and then don't forget Wednesday night live stream. You guys are free to come on.
Oh yeah, live streamed on Jason's Twitch channel as well, and and then we've got a ton of things coming up. We're going to doing She-Hulk reactions in about 2 weeks' time. Obviously, we'll be doing stuff for wow, what is it? So many shows. Oh my goodness.
Andor coming up too.
Andor coming up. We've got.
You remember She-Hulk, but you don't remember Andor.
Hey, yo, She-Hulk, Andor.
That's because the guy was sitting right over my shoulder.
What came out September 2nd? Wait, what comes out September 2nd was the.
She stays on your mind, Elijah.
The Rings of Power comes out soon, which I think I'd be curious to check out. Wait, and there's also I don't know. We're going to give our thoughts and our responses on our whole
everything we mentioned on this show.
Yeah, it's coming out soon. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff, guys. Anyway, guys, thank you so much, and we shall catch you next time. So, yay.
So pick another target, another military target.